boy. Yeah, boy. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's up, my guy?
Hey, how we doing?
Doing great, and you?
Doing good.
It's been a while, man, since we hanged out.
It's been a while since we've hung out. Every time we do a podcast, this is what we say.
Yep, exactly.
It's been a while.
We've been playing some Halo, some other games too, some Valheim. We played a bit this week.
That we did, but nothing like actually hanging out.
Yeah, it's the first time since like, oh, you came by my house like this fall, I think, and we played some Magic the Gathering.
This fall, yeah.
This fall.
So like 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, something like that.
2021 went fast, real fast.
Yeah.
Went fast, real fast. Yeah. Some broken English right there.
Too fast, too furious. Welcome to anyone watching the stream here on YouTube. If you're watching this on the replay, this is actually gonna also be on Spotify and everywhere where you can find our usual podcasts. Long story long, we weren't really sure if we were going to do just like a live stream, because I do live stream on the YouTube channel, but we also do podcasts, the two of us together. And this was kind of a mix of both. So we didn't know if we were just going to do it as a podcast or if it was going to be more of a live stream thing, but we're going to do both. So if you're here right now on YouTube, hey, what's up? And if you're watching on the replay, hey, what's up?
Live podcast. It's the new format. I mean, it's a cool format. I like those.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of those.
Yeah, me too. And there is something to be said with, like, I don't know, it's not as bad because it's me and you, we're the two of us, versus when I do my live streams, usually it's just me alone.
Yeah.
But definitely is something to having like people watching and having a chat going on and being able to interact with people. Hey, it's that Willy boy.
Ooh, what's up, my guy? And no, it's really cool. We've been doing this. It's been a while since last July, since the last time we went live with my band Nephalite. But each time we did, we had so much fun, and people were there and they showed up, and we had some good chatting and good hanging out with people. So it's really nice on Twitch too. But I think if we go live in the future, we're gonna switch to YouTube because it's like everything's more simple, I think.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in terms of everything live streaming on YouTube, and for anything that's like not specifically gaming related, I think YouTube is definitely the place to be. It's one of those weird things where if your goal is to stream 10 hours a day of playing video games, Twitch probably still makes the most sense because that's crowd, what the crowd is there for that. But if you're kind of doing complimentary stuff, like I'm only streaming once a week for like an hour or two, it wouldn't really make sense for me to be on Twitch. Like no one would find me. I'm not playing video games, so it's kind of weird. But my audience is already here on YouTube, so it makes way more sense to just be able to send out an invite to those people and be like, hey, you watch my videos, do you want to come watch me live for like an hour or two? Just come hang out.
It's just I think the less you spread your crowd on different platforms, the better it is, like in general. So might as well do it on YouTube.
Sure. It's one of those weird things, though. I guess you want to not put all your eggs in one basket. But
Xenos is here.
La bière à 15h le jeudi. I mean, this is...
it's the holidays, man.
Let's just say this is straight vodka. For the sake
of... What's up, Phil, man? Doing good in the chat with your boy William Arsenault?
Jeez. We got some
heavy hitters in the chat.
Some DOHers in the chat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Is it DOH playing right now on Spotify? I think it is.
Maybe
actually.
There's a lot. No, so right now it's Last 10 Seconds of Life, but it's a mix. The only tracks that are going to be playing in the background are so there we go. Death to Hatred just kind of popped on. But I kind of claimed my own songs. I was like, hey, I'm gonna play them on my stream. Fuck it.
It's also not. I think I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but it's also not registered by any label or anything, so no legal issues.
Exactly.
I remember when I did the first test on Twitch with Nephalite, I was listening to Hellborn because I knew it was legit. Not to have some audio.
But your own music wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Because CD Baby has been tough with us lately, but things happens.
I
can't.
It's the robots.
Yeah,
it's all automatic.
Can't talk about it. We're in court with that stuff. No, it's not true. No.
Got a lawyer up.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I hope not. It's my worst nightmare.
Just before we get into the actual show, what are we gonna do today? We're gonna look back on our favorite albums. We're gonna go through a quote unquote top 10 because we don't necessarily have 10 each. It's our show. It's our rules.
Exactly.
That's what we've been saying all week.
It's our favorite records from this year that we've been listening. Maybe it's not from 2021. Who knows?
For me, it's all 2021. For you, it isn't. But it's our rules.
Yeah.
We're doing what we want.
For sure.
And so we're gonna do that. And then I did prepare kind of some of the highlights in terms of what I thought were newsworthy stuff that happened in the metal world throughout the year, because there has been a lot of weird stuff going on. On entend juste des kicks puis du burglage, so no worries.
I think he's talking about the legal issues with CD Baby.
Oh,
Like just.
right.
I hope you hear our voices though.
I guess the voice is what's important. But yeah, if all you're hearing is pia 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 pia, and we should be good.
All right.
So that's it, man. I mean, just those two things are probably going to take up a lot of time. So we'll see afterwards if we've got time for anything else. But that's that. And real quick, I just wanted to say, if you're watching this on the replay on Spotify specifically, or actually if you're watching on YouTube and you want to open your app and go to Spotify right now, if you search for Breakdowns for Breakfast.
Yep.
Which is the podcast name that me and Cedric do together. You can actually leave some ratings now on Spotify. So go give us a 5-star. If you're going to give us anything outside of a 5-star, give us a 5-star anyways. And yeah, I don't think many people are talking about that. So I'm pretty sure every single 5-star would actually help a lot. We don't have that many podcasts up right now, but
it's news to me. I didn't know that before. You tell me.
That's it. No one's talking about it. And I went to look at some like big, some bigger podcasts, and even those podcasts had really low amounts of ratings and stuff. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, even if we have 5 people rating it 5 stars,
people just doesn't know about it, right?
People don't know about it, but I think just a few ratings would help us get into the algorithms and all that stuff. If you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So let's get into it.
Hell yeah, my guy.
All right. First, I guess, but before we go over our favorite albums, I just want to note real quick, we've had, especially in the deathcore realm, there's been a lot of reunions and comebacks this year.
Always a lot of reunions and comeback in metal in general, but this year deathcore's been like the most popular genre to have a reunion, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where deathcore was kind of going on a decline for years and years and years, and I'm not going to say this year specifically, probably started maybe last year or the year before, but definitely this year we saw some bands blowing up that are like very very deathcore.
Like the biggest band in metal right now are deathcore bands.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. Like we're not in 2009 anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But here we are. Some of the biggest metal right now is in deathcore. We're talking like Brand of Sacrifice, Slaughter to Prevail, Lorna Shore. Dude, those 3 bands were on the up and up, but absolutely blew up. They all had new records this year and just absolutely made them blow up. I don't think I've seen as many videos as that Lorna Shore breakdown on TikTok, on YouTube, reaction videos,
the nasal stuff.
Dude, I even heard a band come out with a song like a week or 2 ago, and he had a fucking snarl before the breakdown. I couldn't do it.
God,
I can't do it.
It's like the recreants thing with Chelsea Grin back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at with with Deathcore right now. But I mean, we've got Molotov Solution.
Yes, I'm so hyped for this, man.
Right. So they put
Jesus Christ.
they re-released the last album that they put out, Insurrection, and they've been in the studio recently. That's been confirmed.
It's
So we're gonna have new
insane.
music by them.
It's
Yeah.
so good. Me, Felix Demers and I were, we're still huge fan of Molotov Solution, but where's my English right now? When he showed me Molotov Solution back in high school,
Yeah.
like it was like the heaviest thing we ever listened to, and we're like, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
that's so hard. And to this day, Insurrection is still an amazing album.
Yep. It's honestly, it's not. I don't find it great from start to finish.
Yeah.
But it's got like "Injustice for All" is one of the best deathcore songs ever created.
It's
no
great,
discussion.
man. Like everything in this song is good. Like the tone of the guitars, the mix, the writing, the vocals, everything's good, man.
Yep. So there's that. We've got with Dead Hands Rising. I don't know if you know those guys. They were like
never heard.
super old school deathcore.
Really?
They apparently are planning a return of sorts. We've got Of Sulfur, which is Ricky Hoover,
Yep.
ex Suffocate. He put out his new band this year as well, so it's not like a reunion, but I mean this like icon within the deathcore world,
of course.
coming back to making some new music.
boy.
We've got Delta, who
don't
did
know
the
this
same. Delta, they have members that are in Oceano now.
Okay.
I think the guitarist is in Oceano, and yeah, it's just like they were also like way back doing. They have like one EP, but they remixed this EP and put it back out, and then they put out a new song as well. So just like a theme of these bands that haven't been putting out music in like 10 years. Coming back all of a sudden and doing so. Job for a Cowboy, eternally just like rumors of them putting out new material as well. This has been going on for like years at this point,
yeah.
but I mean, eventually we're bound to have it.
I'm sure they're working on it for sure. I mean, I don't think they'd hype it so much and just do nothing with it. I mean,
yeah.
it's too good. People are just waiting for it too hard not to have it, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. As Blood Runs Black, we're previewing some new music.
Some classic.
Of course, have to. And Hell followed with. They put out an album last year, but
I like how you skipped Attack Attack.
yeah, I realized everything was super deathcore, and Attack Attack has nothing to do with.
It's a big comeback because it's Attack Attack.
Huge. It's huge, but yes,
It's not
Attack
deathcore,
Attack.
you know.
They're back. I mean, they're doing breakdowns again.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. What's Felix saying? He's pre the art. The first album though, Them Melodies.
I think he's talking about
Molotov Solution. Yeah, dude, that first album, incredible. Yeah.
Chef Kiss.
That's the thing with Insurrection is they really changed up the style, whereas the two albums before that were kind of more, I want to say linear style wise. Like it was more of the same, but which I really enjoyed. Like I loved that style. So when Insurrection came out, I was like, we've got some like genty riffs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I was like,
Some guitar
it
strange
works,
sounds like
but
Sornin stuff, but before Sornin.
yeah. So I mean, it's cool, but definitely, yeah, my heart is with you two, Felix, on that first record, for sure. So okay, so I just wanted to start off with that because we've had I don't know, Deathcore's been really big this year. I mean, and to be fair, okay, we talk a lot about Deathcore, but you love Metalcore
Dude, I
even
love
more.
Metalcore.
And Metalcore has seen a lot of cool stuff this year as well. Metalcore, I feel, has been like a lot of newcomers. I always look to A Rising Empire.
Yep, they have
the label.
big names right now.
Well, big names, but even unknown names that are just putting out the craziest material.
Yes, it's insane. I don't know how these guys do it. I mean, they seem to have like a super good team to like find talents. I mean, it's all like first labels for the majority of the bands that are there, and they sign. I mean, A Rising Empire and Sharptone Records too. I mean, they sign like some classic bands like We Came as Romans and stuff like this that put out some new records that are actually good, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a big, not a comeback for metalcore, but some classic bands have been getting their game pretty strong this year.
Yep. for sure.
Yep.
So let's go into our top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you wanna do yours first or mine first?
Go for it, man.
Okay.
I'm super excited to see what you have it.
Okay.
you have on?
Mine's all Deathcore. I forgot to
That's perfect.
put this up here. I put this in my Dropbox.
William Arsenault says JFAC official drum has been tracked.
Yes, I know. But they've been saying this for years. It's just,
Where are those
Where is
songs?
it? I need it.
In a hard drive somewhere.
You just release the pre-prods.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't
Just the
care.
drums. It's gonna be good anyways.
Okay, look away 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm gonna just prop this up and it's on the other screen. Oh, can I well, you can look now, it's fine. How can I?
What is this?
Okay, I can.
Ooh, I don't understand.
Why can't I move it? No, this is annoying.
You opened it with which application? Is it OBS?
No. Oh. Okay, so look away again. I'm gonna open this with something else. Sorry guys.
Windows picture viewer, something like this.
Oh, I guess that's what I'm gonna do now. As my usual program.
Can VLC open JPEG? That's the question.
Probably. You know, fuck it up too.
I'm not looking.
Yeah, you're good.
It's Coles.
Yeah, you're good.
Looks pretty good.
So let's turn this to full screen with. Hey,
nice.
Okay. So I'm sure you don't know this band.
No, actually no.
The band's called Zeolite. Oh, and I want to preface this with I'm putting out a video about my top 10 albums tomorrow. It's already recorded, but we're gonna do this on stream too.
Yeah.
I wanted to wait to put it out till after the stream because what would have been the point of of doing this?
But not
if I
everyone's
had-
gonna see this, so it's okay.
No, exactly. So Zeolite, they're
Sup, Trauma Queen?
Trauma Queen.
I don't know who it is, but
I don't. Yeah. I don't know either, but yo. Yeah, Zeolites, they're just a very classic sounding Australian deathcore. Just that fast paced,
Yeah.
old school Thy Does Murder, Aversion's Crown kind of style. A Night in Texas. Just really fast, but in your face kind of deathcore. I can't even say the album name, but
is it number 10 or it's
yeah,
no
I'm going
particular order?
reverse. Yeah, there's not necessarily a super strict order to these, but my last and my first are clearly my number one's my number one, but yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
They're not random, but kind of. So
Sick
yeah.
art, actually, too.
Can I not do this? See, this is what's pissing me off. Damn it! No! I'm gonna have to have you close your eyes every single time.
It's okay. It's like Christmas. Close your eyes before
Oh, well, there's clearly a way to. There's no way I can't move this.
just open more tabs. And then switch between tabs. Open one
Yeah, but now I
page.
have to do open with every single time.
If you do, I don't know, but you can just change the.
Oh wait! I can clearly open this as a playlist.
Probably, yeah.
Me being a boomer on stream in front of everyone. I can't do open with.
If you select all of
We're gonna switch this back to here. Fuck, man.
Dom, it's your friend Aaron, baked as hell in the tub watching Deathcore News. Hell yeah, my guy.
Hey! What's up? Had to come show y'all some love.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man. Well,
I'm trying not to look, but it's hard. I want to see the chat.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, this is really annoying. I am sorry.
No problem. Just get it in Premiere. Put it.
We're just gonna have to do them one by one. Okay.
What it is.
It is. I can't believe I can't. Oh, I can do this. Okay,
Nice.
cool. Okay, we got
Number
fucking
9.
fixed.
Penance.
Here.
Is it? Wait, what is this?
Yeah, their band logo is like
Yeah, it's hard
in
to
the
read,
in
man.
the corner here, which is the randomest.
But it feels heavy.
Yeah,
Looks heavy too.
yeah. Bound in Fear,
Bound
their
in
album,
Fear, yeah.
their album
you sent it
Penance.
to me, yeah.
It's just it's heavy from start to finish. It's I don't know. I don't really. It's like kind of really like down tempo, kind of beat down style deathcore mixed with Viljarta kind of thing.
yeah.
Super dissonant, super sludgy, super slow. Yeah. It's
The album art again is crazy.
yeah.
Looks amazing. Looks heavy.
I think
Yeah, you have to click on. Yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Of
Sulfur?
Of
Yeah.
Sulfur. Honestly, it's because it's like a 5-song thing. It's not like the best from like start to finish necessarily, but some of the songs on this album just make up for the rest.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what they do with future material because from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, obviously this is all the first material the band was writing together.
Yeah.
Some of the songs were written by like one guitarist and then others by
Get it.
another, and then all of them together on some other tracks. So you can see that kind of like contrast between every single song. But I'm excited to see how they hone into like
Yeah, a full-fledged like band. as a unit.
maybe with like a full length album and stuff and do something really cool.
They have the
But
potential to do it for sure.
Yeah, for
Good
sure, but-
musicians, good everything. I think.
yeah, and this, I mean, the album, it sounds cool, and I really like the tracks. There's just something about the style of this album musically that isn't something we have that much of. It's like there's the symphonic vibe, but not in a Lorna Shore
Yeah.
kind of way, right? It's not. I don't know. It's just more straight deathcore riffs with synths and stuff without being over the top symphonic.
Maybe a bit
less
school.
less black metal, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
More of a like straight symphonic sound added to some really heavy deathcore. I guess
yeah.
you could say that.
Yeah. So, whoop, I went the other way. Do you know this band?
No, it's like the artwork is crazy too.
Frontierer.
Oh, I think you sent me a song like
They're
some
like-
weeks ago.
Tony Danza, Ion Dissonance. There's like Tony Danza isn't there anymore, so that this band can exist.
Oh,
like
I get it.
so fucking good.
Oh my god.
You've got to listen to this band, but it's like chaos from start to finish. They do have kind of songs that go in and out of being super chaotic and having some more, not really feely parts, but just like some slower, more toned down, less chaotic parts. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I think everyone's been missing the Tony Danza sound.
Yeah.
Like, if we could have more Tony Danza today, everyone would take it.
I mean, he's been away for a while. Like Tony Danza Experience or something. Is it the name?
Tap
of the,
Dance Extravaganza.
Yeah, Tap Dance Extravaganza. They've been away for a while, I think, right?
Yeah. But these are like unrelated dudes. It's
Yeah.
not like anyone from Tony Danza doing this music, but it's clearly heavily inspired. And I don't know, it sounds great. It's
I'll have to check it out. I mean, I'll have to check all the bands because I don't know them that much. I listened to like maybe one song or two of Bound in Fear or By Fear.
Bound in Fear. Yeah.
And I loved it, but like I never like went back to it that much because I'm listening to too much metalcore, honestly. and you'll see it in my top 10. So, but I have definitely to check it out.
This is the band that to me surprised me the most. Like when I listened to it, I was like,
And you're still coming.
the
back
one
to
that like blew me away the most for like being out there, different, how it's produced, just like a lot of bands like that already exist. Kind of I mean, this isn't their first album from what I understand, but it's the first that I heard of them. But a lot of bands, when you already kind of know them, like if Vired as Murder puts out a new album, I won't be surprised by how it sounds.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, probably.
Whereas like this, because I didn't know anything about it, and because of how it sounds, I was like, whoa,
Yeah, it's
what
crazy,
the fuck?
right? Yeah. Frontier. That's a good banding too. I love it. I love bands. I love that when bands are good and have good band names.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen that much often, but
Band names are like, especially in metal,
hit or miss. Yeah.
a lot of them are misses, but I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, the Voynich Code, nice.
Man, this album
I
is
love
so
this
sick. Like such a modern take on what deathcore can sound like.
Again,
That Shadow of Intent sound, but doing their own thing. A lot of really deathcore riffs, but bringing it really to something more modern,
Always
super fast as
clean
well.
sounding, like super,
Yeah.
like good production, nothing messy.
Yeah, the
super
production
tight.
is super clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been I enjoy it quite a lot actually.
Yeah, these guys, I didn't know about them. I didn't know about them until this year. Either.
Like for the last I think 4 or 5 years, every time I'm listening to music or metal on YouTube,
It
there
suggests
always that music video from the Voynich Code, but I don't know which song it is, but it's always out there. Like every song I'm listening to, there's a Voynich Code right there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube wanted me to click on that for sure for some reasons, but
And you eventually did.
yeah, and it's great. So
It worked.
not mad about it. Oh yeah.
I could have never predicted, out of any predictions possible, I would have never predicted that Structures A would have come back,
For sure.
and B, that they would have sounded at their heaviest on a new album.
Blame
This is the
blame North Lane in the pandemic. Blame Australia in the pandemic for that.
Maybe, but I mean this this album is absolutely insane. Sounds really good as well. This is another album that the
pissed
production
off.
is really good, and yeah, it's just pissed.
Yeah.
Because their last albums were less and less pissed. Like they had heavy parts, but for the most part we're going less heavy
The
with every
energy.
album. But this one is just like pissed off from start to finish.
Yep, it's the like raw and like dark energy that comes with this record that like made me love it. I think because it's classic structures, it's heavy riffs, it's breakdowns, it's like that genty deathcore, super super chaotic, but a bit chaotic. But if you remove this energy, it just feels like any other band because. I mean, it's classic riffs, but with that super like pissed off take on it, it just takes it to another level. I think.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. I mean,
This artwork is amazing.
so many
crazy,
people
man.
hate this artwork, but this is like it's so on brand for them.
Yeah,
like this,
exactly. Just-
I mean,
It works because they are them.
it's the fucking dude with his mask and with "Made in Russia." Like this is like, it's at sometimes it feels like they're a parody of themselves.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what it works, man. And there has been so much controversy around this album in terms of if people like it, if people don't like it. And to me, I think, and this is my theory, okay? Because we're in the age of the internet now. I think that a fuck ton of people love this album. Like a lot of people love this album. A lot of people enjoy the new metal sound that they added to this album, because you look at the stream numbers, and at a certain point throughout the year, around the time that this album came out, they were the most they were the band with the most monthly followers on Spotify in all of deathcore.
Okay. I think you were about to say like in all of music.
No, but in all of deathcore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bigger than Whitechapel, bigger than Suicide Silence, bigger than any of these household names. So
People listen to this album.
I doubt even like 5% of those were hate listening to it.
Yeah.
Revenge listening to an album.
I mean, when the
Like
numbers
people
are,
were probably listening to it because they like it, right?
I mean,
like
it's heavy, it's production, it's amazing, it's Alex Terrible. I mean, the vocals are as good as ever on this album.
yeah,
I
and I don't love everything about it, but it's got like 5 or 6 really fucking amazing songs, and
Demolisher.
other songs that I'm like, meh, whatever. But like that's all albums ever.
Yeah, exactly. There's no perfect album. I mean, there's some, but
There are, but most albums that come out usually have like 1 or 2 good singles on them, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Slaughter to Prevail gave us those singles 2 years ago before the album came out, right?
Exactly.
Demolisher and Agony were both put out a year and 2 years ago, and we already knew those songs were awesome. So we already had it's. I can understand people maybe being a bit disappointed because they already knew these songs. So they're just looking at new songs, and there's like less to love than what they want.
how many songs
But-
are there on the album? Like 10, something like this?
I'm not sure.
Because
I'd have to count.
They released something like 3 or 4 singles from
I
this
don't
album.
know.
I think I'm not sure about it, but at least 2 singles.
They put out 4 singles.
Yeah.
They put out the Agony and Demolisher like way earlier. Then they put out Baba Yaga.
Yeah, and Costello, is it?
No. The other song is I can never pronounce the song name, but they had like that anime like music video for it.
Oh, yeah.
That one is a lot more like new metal-ish influenced. But here's my theory: people love this album, but haters just speak out too much online.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. I think that the people complaining about Slaughter to Prevail online, I mean, it's like anything. Like, I'm not expecting my neighbor to like
Yeah.
Slaughter to Prevail,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But what if my neighbor was on online forums shitting on Slaughter to Prevail? I don't care about his opinion. He doesn't like them. He doesn't like them.
the
But if you look
music's
at the amount of people that do like them,
Look at this dude.
oh, it's look at the king saying kings. What's up, Sammy?
And I mean, Alex Turble is basically now the face of deathcore with this album. I mean, he was kind of it like before because
Yeah.
He's heavily tattooed, super muscular, super like.
I mean, his vocals,
he's brutal,
like,
and he's
yeah.
that's, like
His vocal covers online, and like he already
Exactly.
had like an online persona and
he's
like
the
online
deathcore
clout.
boy,
Yeah.
So he just cemented his place as like the top vocalist in deathcore, like the hottest vocalist in deathcore right now in 2021. So
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that album. Crown Magnetar,
Yep.
The Codex of Flesh. This album is fucking amazing. This is kind of similar as that first record, as Zeolite, in the sense that they're super. It's that classic, like old school Australian deathcore kind of style. They're from the U.S., but like there's that feel to it, like Signal of Firing Squad, like all those deathcore bands that traditionally were super fast. Like the breakdowns don't have to be super slow. Like they'll do these really rapid breakdowns and chugging and stuff. I don't know. I just love everything about this album. The vocalist is absolutely insane, and yeah, I don't know.
it's a great record.
I'm gonna hate on them for 1 second. I hate the music video that they put out. I
I
hate
haven't
it.
watched it actually.
No disrespect to the band, but it's one of those music videos that I look at that I that makes me think of the fact that sometimes you're better off like sometimes like putting out a music video or a lyric video or stuff like this. Some bands will be like, we have to put out a music video, when in reality putting something out that's not like really good sometimes hurts the image. And it's not that the music video is completely dog shit. It's the fact that it's just less good than the music is.
Yeah.
Right. So it lowers
yeah.
it lowers the standard, right?
Which is
Which is a shame because like I said, this album is really good. The production sounds great. Everything sounds great about this album, but I would have taken that music video less.
Yeah. I mean,
It is what it is. Everyone does their thing. Whatever.
sometimes
I'm just hoping that like on their next record they get maybe more of a budget or.
I mean,
or
it happened to like you and me to just like have something in our heads for a music video, and just sometimes it just doesn't turn out like you want
doesn't
to.
come out the way you want. Yeah.
And it is
Or
what
it's not
it
that
is.
you pay for something that's not it doesn't match your expectations, and then you're like, well, we already put the money. Do we put it out? Do we not put out? But yeah.
I mean, we're both sitting on music videos or like some video projects that will never see the light of day.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we made some mistakes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep. I mean, this one,
Big anime energy right now.
but I mean, there's not much to say. I mean,
Is it your last one?
No, second last.
Ooh. There's another one after that.
Yeah, and I've listened to this album a fuck ton. To be fair, also, this came out like in the beginning of the year. It came out in March, and singles came out like in December before that. So I've been listening to this album nonstop ever.
Covering Brand of Sacrifice today? Like doing a vocal cover? Like right now? Nah.
That was a good sound effect.
Taking like a vocalist breath. But I mean,
No, not today, unfortunately.
It's hard, and I don't know the songs that much from this album.
Honestly, I've been thinking about doing some cover stuff for like on the channel, and Brand of Sacrifice naturally, because they're one of the bands I listened to most this year. I was thinking about it and like looking at songs. The vocals are absolutely insane.
It's like super well crafted in the studio. There's so much layers and stuff, but it's good and it works, and they pull it off live. I mean,
That's it. I saw them live and he pulls it off, but that's what to me is insane, because listening to the album, I can clearly, and maybe I'm wrong, but I can clearly see like this was written as a studio kind of thing. I mean, and they're going all out on layers, all out on like switching tones, and like clearly not doing them one take.
Yeah, effects and stuff.
I think maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but so when you listen to it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a vocal cover of this, you're like, there's no fucking way. This is inhuman hard. Because it technically is. But like you said, we saw them live, and like they
pull it off.
You saw them live, right?
At the Fairmount with.
Oh right, yeah, we were at the same show, yeah.
Yep.
And dude, like he pulls it off, fucking immaculately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sammy's right, man. Even if I'm not, while I was doing this top 10 thing, I realized that I hadn't listened to much deathcore this year.
Yeah.
But Brand of Sacrifice has been like one of those albums that always like. I think I haven't listened to the album like in full capacity, like the whole song. The whole song is like one after the other.
Yeah.
But like the few singles were like never too far from my Spotify playlist.
Yeah. What's Sammy saying? Legit one of my highlights of the year, and I'm not the biggest deathcore fan. It's crazy, right? So exactly what you were saying. Yeah.
It's a like milestone album for like modern deathcore, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's just crazy. Ooh, that's a hot take, man.
It's so fucking good, and I did not enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the first single they put out. Go for it.
Sammy's saying like Rip Kentaro Miura for the Berserk reference.
The Berserk. Yeah, it's true, because they're all about Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the creator, right? Yeah, unfortunately passed away this year, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not too long ago. It's been a few months.
Yeah, something like this summer or like early fall, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Arc Spire, man.
Yeah. Okay. So they put out the first single, and I was shitting on it at first. I was like, I'm not sure. It was just a bit different from like. Let me set the stage. The album before that, the other album that the previous album that they put out was one of my most listened to albums ever.
Ever?
Fucking love it. Ask any of the guys in Depths.
Yeah.
We listened to that album on repeat. Me and Mart, we were in the van doing our fucking night drives, and we would just, it's not a long album because it's so fucking fast. It's like a 25-minute album.
Crazy.
We would loop it. We'd finish it and we'd look at each other. Do you want to put it on again? Yeah, okay. We'd like listen to it for hours.
Yeah, it's candy for the ears, man.
Yeah. So when the first single for this one came out, I was kind of like, I guess probably comparing it to the other album, and for one reason or another, I was like, I hate the mix for it, and I feel like this song.
Album?
Yeah, at first, and then I don't know. I just had really mixed feelings about it. They came out with two other singles afterwards, and the second single that they put out fucking sold me on
what is
the
name
album.
Of the single already? Is it?
The first one was Golden Mouth of Ruin.
Yes, this is the one I listened to a lot.
Yeah,
It's
and that.
great, man.
But I really didn't love it. I had to come around to it, and I thought
It grew on you.
I thought that I really fucking loved the mix from the previous album. Like, I thought it was a top tier mix. And then I listened to this one and I was like, no, this doesn't sound as good as the other mix. And then I went back to listen to the other album and I was like, wait, this mix isn't actually all that great. And they went to the same studio with the same guy and everything. And for whatever reason, I ended up enjoying this mix a lot more. It sounds cleaner. Everything sounds really good. You can hear the bass a lot more in it, which I wouldn't necessarily be a fan of always. But on this album, it sounds actually like insane because of what he's playing.
Is it feeling? I mean, the problem you have with it is it that it feels more organic than the previous album?
No, it sounds cleaner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this one sounds cleaner, but I thought the other one sounded way cleaner than it did.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went back to listen to it and I was like, no, it actually sounds pretty raw. Felix saying fell asleep a couple times on this in the back of the van. Yeah, probably.
Jeez, in the cloud, man.
But okay, so what I have to say about the mix is I do wish that the vocal. My biggest complaint was this though, that the vocals aren't loud enough. I feel in the mix. I really wish that the vocals were a bit louder. Not because I'm like in love with the vocals or whatever, but just I feel like they're a little low in the mix personally. That's the only thing. Like in hindsight, like now that I've listened to it a lot, that's what I think could change about the album. But aside from that, dude, this song takes everything that they've been talking about and preaching and writing in terms of how tech they are and brings it up to 11, which I didn't think was possible compared to the previous album. But they turn it up a notch even more, and while doing that, they managed to put in these super melodic segments that work so well and are like memorable. So now you've all of a sudden you've got this cocktail of like
You remember like
really
the song,
fucking technical songwriting and memorable songs. And
only them can do that. It's crazy. I mean, the only band they have to top now for technical abilities is themselves.
Yeah,
It is the most tech band like in America, man. It's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. I've been listening to this nonstop in the past few months, and some of the songs that aren't even singles. There's this song called Drain. I always forget what the rest of the starts with. Drain something.
Can't help you on this one.
I'm having a hard time deciding which song is my favorite off the album, but this one is like one of my favorites, and it hasn't come out as a single or anything. The last song on the album is like 400 BPM song. It's like a crazy fucking fast kind of song, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Because I don't like speed and I don't like tech for the sake of being tech or for the sake of being fast.
It has to make sense to be current.
It has to make sense, and that's where most bands in the genre get it wrong. And these guys just nailed something on this album that I think no one else can touch.
The bad thing about it, though, will they ever top it? I mean, will they do something better than this?
I thought they couldn't on their last album.
Oh, it says a lot.
And they did it, so we'll have to see. Okay, so that's
a great collection of albums, dude. I'm a bit shy to show mine after that.
I have one more mention though.
Ooh, let's go.
Because as I was making my list, all of these ended up being very death metal and deathcore, like from start to finish. So I didn't feel like including this specific album made sense. But Normandy.
Ooh, let's go.
Dark. What is it? Dark and Beautiful Secrets. Is that the name?
Something like this, yeah.
That
an album.
album is absolutely insane. it's metalcore, but it's like a light metalcore.
Light,
So
poppy,
even for metalcore, I had a hard time justifying it as like my top metal albums. It is, but just because of the nature of the other, like comparing it to like everything else on my list, I was like, this seems kind of out of place.
This isn't heavy enough.
But if I were to put that somewhere in that list, it'd be like number 2.
Oh yeah.
Such a good fucking album.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite albums of the year, but it's not on my list. You'll see, because there's a lot of good things too.
Okay,
I've been
okay.
listening to other things than metalcore too in the metal realm, but it's not deathcore.
Okay.
It's other kind of metal, and I'm sure the boys in the chat will know what I'm talking about.
Don't say Rush.
Looking at you, Felix. But no, it's you'll see.
Where?
2021, my guy.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you touch the mouse.
Where is the mouse? Oh, I have to stand up now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to reach over.
Okay.
Unless,
I mean,
I can do this. I'm not looking anymore. Yep.
I have to select all of them.
Right click
and. Hi, I'm speaking to Dom Des mic right now. Open, like straight open?
No. Open with.
Where is open with?
Just select one.
Oh yeah. Open with. We're boomers. Sorry.
There's the whatever the default
photos.
Windows.
This stuff. And but this is one of the honorable mentions.
Okay, that's fine.
So you can go back a bit. You can go back without you looking.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. I mean,
I knew this was gonna be on the list. I have a feeling I could have made the list for you, sort of. I have a feeling I know a few of these albums coming up for sure.
I've been very transparent with what I've been listening to this year.
I have one that I'm probably gonna have some beef with you about. Actually.
Ooh, okay.
That I have a feeling is on your list, and if it isn't, we're gonna have to talk about it afterwards either way. Yeah.
Okay. Like Must of Flames, Pure Like Porcelain EP is like. This is the music I've been listening to for the last 3 weeks. Each time I've been working, I've been opening Spotify and playing this EP front to back all day. This is the only thing I've been listening, like music wise, for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's so good. Like when I listen to metalcore, I want some breakdowns, some riffs, some like pissed off vocals. I'm not the guy that will listen to the metalcore bands with the super heavy like growls or super tech. Like I don't know how to say it, but I want that fry, that like.
Yeah, you're not looking for like gutturals and stuff like that necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. If I want to listen to gutturals, I'll listen to like heavy deathcore or something. But when I listen to metalcore, this isn't what I'm looking for. And Chris Roeder from Like Must of Flames is like straight up one of the best. Not ever, but in the last like decade, because they've been around for a while.
Yeah, I know.
And he's been touring a lot with like so many bands.
They've been around since I've been listening to metal, I feel.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they put out like I don't know if they put out more than like 5 or 6 albums, but
for sure.
But this one is an EP, and all the songs on it are amazing. The riffs are good, and the drums on this album, like the sound of the drums, makes me want to listen to the album again and again. It sounds so good, and I don't like all songs from Like Must of Flames, but it seems like they like the 5 or 6 songs on this EP. I'm not sure how many there is. It's like my 5 or 6 favorite songs from them. So it's crazy. Yeah. All the choruses are great. I mean, it's an all around amazing metalcore record.
I have a bit of a problem with this album.
God dang.
No, well, okay. So hear me out. And it kind of goes with what you were saying about like if you want something heavy, you'll listen to a heavy band.
Yep.
Right? So I feel like this album strays a lot more towards being heavy.
Yeah, there's like
than previous material. Yeah. And to be fair, those heavy parts are heavy.
Yep.
So it's not a case of like, not heavy band tries to make heavy music so it sounds kind of lame. Like, that's definitely not the case. It sounds great, but when it comes to the choruses afterwards, these like big soaring choruses.
Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan of those.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something almost like a parody of metalcore.
Yeah,
like how soaring the choruses are, which I get is the point and what
the appeal of it,
and what people enjoy, right? Like I understand that, but for me, I'm like listening to it and it's like super heavy. I'm like, oh, this is fucking good. And then the chorus comes in and I'm like, no! Like, why?
I remember.
And I love pop music. I love like all these things. To me, it's just kind of the mix the mix of the two that I'm like, because you know I love like Sleep Token and stuff like that, where like it goes from super poppy, from super soft to super heavy as well, and somehow they make it work, right? And I don't know what the science is, but when I listen to this album, there's just something about like the two that I just have a hard time meshing. I don't know. Personally, awesome riffs, really good album all in all. But that's like my only gripe with it. I'm like, every time a chorus comes on, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cheesy compared to like what was just playing before.
But for me, it's one of its strong points, because this is what I'm looking for when I'm listening to metalcore. It's often like something heavy, but not like as heavy as deathcore, but with some energy. This is because there's a lot of bands that just do metalcore for the sake of doing metalcore, that they don't have like the energy or the image or even like the flavor of metalcore in them. And I mean, like Most of Flames are like veterans of metalcore. So I really love what they've been doing with this album. So I remember like inboxing you how much I love this record, and one song in particular said, "Oh, the chorus from Views from Halfway Down is so good," and just you never answered to that message.
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, maybe he's not liking it that much." And now you.
Well, I don't think that's why I've never had a problem just telling you my opinions about songs, but I probably just didn't get around to listening to it. But I don't know. Yeah, that artwork is fucking cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And they released a record like early last year that you liked a little. No, it's Dark Divine, the previous one.
Yes, but I think it's like 2018. It's been a few years. But they did have that one in between. But
it's No Eternity in Gold in 2019 or 2020 even.
I really like the one before that, the with Nowhere Left.
It's Dark Divine.
Yeah, that album's really good. But I think they put out 2 singles that aren't on this earlier this year, didn't they? Basilisk and they did like that 2-song thing.
Yeah, it's not on this.
Those 2 songs are heavy as fuck, and I love it. Basilisk is like it starts right into a breakdown. It's the heaviest shit ever. It's actually really fucking good.
Is it on No Eternity in Gold? I'm not sure.
No. It's
like two standalone singles?
Yeah, they're like B-sides from the previous album, and they just put out the two albums. One's Inherit something. I want to say Inherit the Earth, but that sounds like a Silent Planet thing. But I think it's like Inherit something, and it sounds like a Silent Planet song.
It's crazy.
I found it kind of funny. But then Basilisk is just like heavy from start to finish.
It's
really
crazy
good.
Crazy song name too. I like it. I like when the songs have good names. I'm a vocalist. I like to give good names to songs. So I'm a sucker for that. So yeah, crazy album, man. I think it's the
Other Way.
Yep. Number 2, Felix in the chat will agree with me. Era, self-titled album. I like in my Spotify recap. This is like I think on 4 or 5 songs. They have 2 or 3 songs on there that I listen to the most this year. And disclaimer: my top 10 isn't. It is in no particular order.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Like all the albums, I was like going from one another. So Era, I've been listening a lot to this album. It's heavy. It's teched out. I was about to say it's super catchy, super melodic, and all the songs are good. This is the best thing about this album. You can listen to it like from front to back, and every song is good.
I still haven't given it like a proper listen for whatever reason. they put out like a first single off like that music video is all with like these big like screens and it's all like
Snowblood, I think.
yeah. With like the red and white kind of visuals.
Yep.
That song I was like, ooh, they're back to making heavy music. Cool. But for whatever reason, I think I have it on my Spotify, but I didn't actually give it a good listen.
Not all songs are heavy on this album, but they're all working 10 on 10 for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Being more melodic or just being like a transition song.
Yeah.
Every song has a purpose and it just works. I just love it. The riffs are amazing. The drums are crazy. Jesse Cash, best performance I think on all the albums of Era. And the new vocalist that is GTKV that was in Texas in July before. I think this is his best performance as a vocalist too on a record. So
but he's really good. I mean, he's always done really good in Era specifically. I think he matches.
He's a great fit.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy all around. And this is one of the later shows I've seen before the pandemic hit with Felix as well, and they just blow our mind. They were so good live too.
Who that was with
Northlane, I think.
And Crystal Lake, was that
correct.
that show? Yeah.
Shout out to Crystal Lake, best live show I've seen ever. Next one.
Is it because I did this? Okay.
I know you're not a big fan of this band.
I never said I wasn't a fan of this band. I haven't listened. I haven't listened to the album though.
This is a perfect metalcore record. It's so good. The riffs. I mean, when I'm listening to metalcore, what I need is riffs. I've been talking with the boys in the band, and we're like, we need to bring back the riffs. People, I mean, it is only like some chugging and some. There's this big era of chugging and zeros and more like groovy riffs. I need this dance. I need this stuff. It's so good.
The classic "As I Lay Dying" has to come out.
I need this stuff, and Phineas pulls it off on this record. It's. I mean, I think they achieved to do like a love letter to metalcore on this record. There's old school sounding songs. There's super heavy songs, like almost deathcore song on there. There's like I don't remember the name, but there's a song that just is straight up like only breakdowns and growls and lows all around.
Okay.
And there's super melodic, super catchy songs too with choruses and everything. It's so good. It's the perfect metalcore record for me.
Felix says, "Dude." Sammy can relate.
It's so great. It's amazing. So yeah, I mean, and they've been around for a long time. Phineas, I think it's their like 5th or 6th record. I'm not quite sure about it.
Yeah,
but it's probably their most achieved record. I think. I mean, they're a Christian band, so maybe like before it was a bit Christianer on the more Jesus side of riffs.
De-Christianized themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it feels more like a love letter to metalcore than a love letter to Jesus, which I enjoy. But I say that, and like their second record is one of my favorite albums of all time. The God Machine. I mean, it's called The God Machine. You can assess
a bit Jesus-y.
Yeah, but it's really good. But this one is just, I think, is the perfect metalcore record for me. It's just good. The production is amazing. This is something they struggled with in the last 2 or 3 records. I didn't like the production that much. Like, they had the album Till the End. Yeah, I don't know. It's a funny album name, but two albums before this one, it's called Till the End, and the production was very good. And then they signed to Solid State Records, and they released Dark Flag. And I think this is the first record like the guitarist Daniel Gailey from Fit for King now. Produced himself, and it sounded good, but it was kind of it was kind of thin, and they rely a lot on breakdowns and stuff. And you listen to the breakdowns, and you're like, okay, it feels like it's missing a guitar or something.
That's weird because. Well, not weird, but I mean, it sucks when that happens because clearly you'd see the band live, and they probably sound heavy as fuck. Like the tone is probably on lock live, right? It's just the recording, but sometimes that can kill an album.
I mean,
unfortunate, but
it killed it for me because I listened to it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, you know what, the production it doesn't work for me. But this one, their All Gun Blazing is just a it's not pretentious. It's like it's metalcore. It's riffs, it's breakdowns. We're doing it for the heck of it. This is a metalcore record, so it's good from start to finish. Big fan.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Ooh, this is the album that's not metalcore on this. It's Harakiri for the Sky. Maer. I don't know.
Is this from this year?
Yep, it's from.
Okay.
I think it's from early 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of those like black metal-ish, super feely type of like when you listen to the album, you feel like you're in the snowstorm, and it's it feels super Nordic, super eerie too. And I'm a big fan of this, and this is their catchiest album. Every song on this is a banger. I love it.
Is it a long album?
I think like
they typically do long songs,
yeah,
right?
It's not like 10 or 11 songs. I think it's like 8 or 9 songs, but they all clock in at like 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes sometimes.
Yeah,
I think they have like 1 or 2 that are even like 9 or 10 minutes on this.
Okay.
I want to say like something stupid, but I think it's on the longer side, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the atmosphere is great, and it's one of the albums I listen to the most in winter, because I just love the atmosphere, the vibe of the winter stuff. So for me, it's also a perfect records for what I need, because sometimes I need to listen to riffs, sometimes I need to listen to breakdowns, sometimes I need to listen to pop, sometimes I need to listen to pop punk. My mind works as very separated stuff. I have all the playlists for all the moods and all the I have a depressive acoustic playlist. So this is one of the records that can be in both heavy, in both grim playlists, in both depressive playlists. It hits all the spot for me. Really amazing. I know you're not a big fan of those super atmospheric stuff.
Everything you just described is like stuff I don't like. But I mean, if it's good, it's good.
Sammy
right?
says my most listened to metal album of the year, and I can't agree more. It's amazing. It's a great record, and I love every album from Harakiri for the Sky. But this one I like all the songs on it. Because no, just go for it.
I was just gonna say that artwork is terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I can't agree more. I mean, it gives you a good idea of the energy and the mood and the vibes of the albums, because it's bones and stuff, But it sounds better than it looks, for sure.
Okay. Just checking.
And I think they hit also a good spot in production-wise, because before it could be on a rougher side, like how black metal can be. Yeah. But I think
always is. You mean? Yeah. Okay.
But this one is a bit cleaner, so feels pretty good to listen to. I know you won't go and listen to it.
No, I have to listen to it. No, but here's the thing. Like, it's clearly the style of music that I wouldn't typically listen to. But if you're telling me that this is the best of that genre,
I think
like why not listen to it, right? Like I might be surprised. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go off and listen to 10,000 other bands that sound like them.
Super catchy, man.
Yeah,
you'll find something you like in this. I'm
curious.
Certain.
I'm curious. Yeah, I probably won't go listening to the 10-minute song first, but I'll start with the shorter one.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, this album is, man.
I don't even know what this is.
It's Heaven Hiding by Eminence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great album art from the get-go. It's also an amazing metalcore record.
This has been a trend this year. I don't know if you've noticed.
Bands with nothing on
Bands with nothing on the album cover.
Yeah.
Like 1 out of 2 bands is that's what it is.
Sammy's up here defending the artwork of Harakiri.
I mean, it's meant to be closer to an engraved artwork. It's a certain vibe. I mean, if it was like actually engraved, kind of like if like physically that album cover had something to it, that would be fucking cool. But looking at it just like that, I feel it looks like second year of high school art class.
Yep. I kind of agree with you. This one though looks like a painting.
That's kind of fucked up.
And it's on here, but I have to say something a bit negative about it. The singles were insane. I think one of the songs I listened to the most this year is Temptation by Eminence. The music video is gorgeous.
We've talked about this a bunch, how their music videos are absolutely insane.
It's crazy. Every one of them are absolute art pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And their first album is quite tech. I mean, it's more on the tech metalcore side with some dissonances of like Architect a bit.
Okay.
And now they tried to follow the trends a bit. I remember like their third or second album is straight up
Sounding like Architects was already a trend,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah. Okay, so I see what they're doing.
I think their third album released like a year after That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
And you could hear that it was exactly the same thing as That's the Spirit.
Okay.
Like some metalcore, but with some what is the word?
It's weird to describe though. I get.
Yeah, synthy, some really
Yeah?
synthy, but not in a heavy or
like more pop.
Yeah, more poppy, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but you could hear you could almost hear Ollie Sykes in there. In
Yeah,
the
yeah.
song. So I think this is their first album in like 4 years, I think, or 3 or 4 years. They've been sitting on this one for a while.
Okay.
And I think they just like reworked their sound from the startup because they sound like their first album, but simpler, cleaner, more streamlined type of sound.
Okay.
There's nothing technical in there. It's just feely,
Yeah.
heavy. I mean, heavy for metalcore.
No, it's heavy.
Feely, heavy. and
They've got heavy riffs in there
yeah,
too.
super streamlined, super simple, and every song has it could be a single. So I mean, they released I think 4 or 5 singles from this record.
Okay, I didn't even realize.
Like the last album, not the last album, but the last single is 2 songs in one, and it's a long music video, like a short film. So
I didn't
think
even
it
realize,
counts for-
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a mature album, I think. It feels mature. It feels like some it's depressive a bit, which I like. My type of taste for those depressive albums. So for me, it's an amazing album all around, but it's a bit too simple. I think it's good. The songs are great. The structures are nice. The vocals, the performances are great. But I'm not a good guitarist. I'm trying to write some songs here and there, and I could write all these songs. Like it's really simple. Like
Sometimes
too
simple, sometimes simple
it
works, but
It works,
but I get
but
what you mean.
It could have some more flair on it, and could have worked as well as it did. But
Sometimes it's just adding more subtleties. Sometimes it's changing small things around. That it really comes down to production a lot of the time. Like just how you can take something that's simple and with layers or just with different arrangements, kind of change it into something that differs from riff to riff, or just adds just a little bit of flair.
Yep. I think they really cemented their sound with this album, and I'm just excited for the next one because I do believe they'll do something in the same energy and atmosphere of this.
Yeah.
But with more, like you said, some more flair, some more technicalities. But the production is amazing. I think they put their energy in the atmosphere and the vibe because if you listen to the album from start to finish, it feels like a one big song, and the orchestrations keep flowing between songs.
From song to song,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay,
And
cool.
it's super cool that they've done this. It doesn't feel like a first album. It feels like a mature album from a mature band.
Yeah.
And I think they surprised everyone with this record because, people were not. They're not super popular in a sense that they never toured in North America. I think they only been touring in Europe, and they have a following there, but they never made.
Well, some of those music videos have crazy
Yeah.
amounts of views.
Yeah.
They're like over 1 million views.
It's the kind of music videos that a lot of reaction YouTubers will go nuts on. So I think it paid off for them, and it's an amazing album.
All right. Oh, I see. I didn't realize this album came out this year.
Me too. I was doing I was researching the images, and I was checking out Spotify.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, 2021. So I could put it on there. It's one of the albums I listened to the most this year because it got everything I need. It got super heavy breakdowns, some pop punk-ish choruses and riffs and verses. The vocalist of this band is a genius. It's amazing.
Yeah,
got everything
he's
I
like
need.
ridiculously versatile, as is the rest of the band.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think there's there's the guitarist of Chung No Captain Chunk in this band too. It's a French band. It's Landmarks for people who doesn't know because it's not written on the album cover.
well, yeah, it's like kind of written, but
Yeah.
not really.
Landmarks with a V instead of the
Yeah.
A. And it's a French band, and they're so good, and they're crazy live too. And they're super tight, and there's even some rap on there.
Yeah, I know.
It's, I mean,
No,
I
this
listen-
album is really good. They're one of those bands that were able to do the genre blending.
Yeah, exactly.
Without being a lot of people a lot of bands that'll do like genre like bending. They'll take two really set genres and like mix them together, and that'll somehow just be their sound
Yeah.
all the time. That's their thing. They have that one thing. Whereas I feel from song to song on this album, they have different influences come in, different genres
Exactly.
mixing, coming in and out. Like you said, there's some rap on some stuff, but there's not rap on every song.
No,
It's just
exactly.
like a song or two. So it's like, and what's surprising to me is how they're able to really make these different genres really work together. And when we say like they're mixing genres, it's like they'll have like a really fucking heavy deathcore sounding riff and go into like a pop punk riff
Yeah.
right after. And it's not like each riff kind of has influences of the other. No, they're like straight up completely different riffs, but somehow in the arrangements, somehow in I guess the notes they're using, like they
just
they
works.
flow from one to another, and it's not weird. And I've rarely seen this in music in general.
And they're-
Just how they're mixing the genres like that so seamlessly and not making it like it's not abrupt. It's not
Yeah.
weird. It's not.
And they're not like an old band by any means. I think it's like their third album or their second full length, and they're just doing it so well that it's like quite impressive. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, every song is great because the common point between all the albums I've put on here is that I like almost every song on those records.
Okay.
And for me, if a record, if the singles of certain albums are great, and I just after that listen to the album and I just like end up
Go back to those two songs
and I'm
or
like,
whatever.
okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's not an album for me. It won't finish on like those end of year
Yeah,
top
yeah,
10
yeah.
lists. I have to like more than 4 or 5 songs on the record.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is an amazing one too. I love it a lot.
Agreed.
Ooh, this is so good. Another album I didn't realize was released in 2021.
This year, yeah.
Devil Sold His Soul, the album Loss.
I didn't know they put out new material this year. I did not even know.
It's an old band, I think.
Yep, they've been around for like literally forever. I feel like this band's been out for like 20 years.
They have quite of a discography, but for me, this is the first time I've listened to this band.
Oh,
ever.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't know this band before this album, and it's so good, so
Yeah.
feely, so heavy.
2004.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And they're heavy. Another common thing between all those albums is that they're feely. I like some emotions in my metal, in my music, and this one is the record I would have written. It's a perfect blend of like metalcore, a bit of even alternative rock somewhere there,
Yeah.
some like black metal vocals, and some like soaring pop rock clean vocals that just blends together in the most amazing way. All the songs are great. It's a long journey on this album too. Like the 10 or 11 songs on this are amazing. And the song Signal Fire is one of my favorite songs like from this year all around. It's
Okay.
so good. If you have an album to listen to from my list, it's this one.
Okay. Signal Fire, you said
Yep.
the name of the song? Okay.
It's just like I don't know how to explain. Like metalcore meets it's like if Harakiri for the Sky meets up I don't know which metalcore band, maybe some older sounding metalcore.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like a modern metalcore take. Something. I mean, they're an older band, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
It feels almost like I don't want to say some shit, but like Converge-y.
Okay.
Those type of bands mixed
Yeah.
with super atmospheric and even some acoustic parts here and there. It's a great album, and I just love it. very much. It's gonna follow me for a while.
All right.
This is the first honorable mention, an album I
Okay.
listened to a lot in 2021 that hasn't been released.
It wasn't out this year.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says
yeah.
Splinters from an Ever-Changing Face from End.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what to say about this record? It's super heavy, super dark, production, dirty production, but that sounds like super clean.
No, yeah,
It's
it's
full
like
button.
it's a weird, raw, clean sounding production.
Yep. It's a great album. I love it. Every song from there also just blends together well. And that's it for this one. Invent Animate Graveyou, an insane comeback record. Did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to it.
It's
I listened
banger.
to the first single they put out, and I was like, yeah, okay.
The new
But you know,
the singles are not.
it's just one song,
Yeah,
right?
the singles are
I'm-
not the best songs on the album.
Okay.
That's for sure. And yes, again, another collection of songs that I like very much. Everyone.
This came out last year,
Yeah,
right?
2020.
Yeah.
And it's an album I listened to a lot this year too. And I think there's one more. Yes, Kardashev. I don't remember the name of the album though.
It's not written, so.
Is it? Yeah, The Bearing of Shadows.
Okay.
Kardashev is a band I discovered late this year. This
Yeah.
album was released in 2022,
Mhm.
and it's 6-song records, all like 12 or 15-minute songs. Something
Mhm.
you don't enjoy that much, I think.
Yeah, but they're what they do is cool. I fuck with it. Very like Aegean type vibes, but
think
with
you-
more atmospheric
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff to it.
And this one is
Vocalist is really
yeah,
good.
it's crazy.
Really enjoy his
Yep,
vocals.
yep, yep. This is an amazing record too. Again, a bit in the same vibes as Harakiri for the Sky. Some like
Yeah.
dark, feely, atmospheric stuff with some super heavy parts and blast beats and insane vocals. So yeah, man, it wraps up my year.
You haven't checked out his YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I've listened to a couple videos and
Okay.
he's pretty good. And
It's
I love
cool.
how he takes the time to talk about the technicalities of Scream and
Yeah,
Unscream vocals.
that's what his whole thing is about.
There's not much people doing this.
Yeah, Cardivox Academy, I think, is
Yep.
the YouTube channel. If anyone's wondering, he kind of does vocal analyses. How do you say it?
Analysis.
Yeah, he kind of goes over. He reacts to songs,
Yeah.
but more in a sense of he's listening to the vocals and trying to recreate it and explain how they're doing it. And lately he's been doing a bunch with the vocalists of the band as
That's
well,
cool.
so he actually gets to like interview them and actually talk vocals with
amazing.
those guys. So it's
Great source of information for anyone who wants to start metal vocals.
yeah. And honestly, this is the kind of thing, even if you don't like think about being a vocalist, it's just they're just entertaining, cool videos to watch.
exactly.
Just like I watch Dean Lamb, the guitarist of Arcspire.
Yeah.
He does guitar videos. He goes live and he does videos on YouTube and stuff. And like, I'm not a guitarist, but I listen to the streams and stuff because it's just interesting. It's
Yeah.
wild to like just kind of see someone practice and be in that world. And Cardivox is the same kind of thing for me.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to this here.
Was the album you wanted to talk about on the list, though?
We didn't. Okay, here's the thing. I really fucking need to piss. I'm gonna piss 1 second. Do you have anything you can talk to the stream? If not, I'll just do the be right back thing.
Yeah,
But
do the be right back thing.
okay,
I'll grab
we're gonna
a glass of
be
water.
back in like 2 seconds.
take the pill so you can stay all night. Poison slowly drips from your lips. Crawl back from where you came. Questions 'cause you cannot handle what I have to say. No open discussion, it's not what I wanted. Love runs into hate. To fool me once is such a shame. You try it twice and I will take your fate. Hang you up over the flames. Squeeze out the poison that you spread. It drips from your lips, making everyone sick instead. The poison, it drips from your lips, making everyone sick. Don't ever show your face. The questions 'cause you cannot handle what I have to say. No open discussion, it's not what I wanted. Love runs into hate. Everything ended, all thrown away. Back into a corner by the choices you've made. Hang you up over the flames. Let you die from the poison you make. Sinister undertones at play. You take the pill so you can stay all night. Poison slowly drips from your lips. Crawl back from where you came. Questions 'cause you cannot handle what I have to say. No open discussion, it's not what I wanted. Love runs into hate.
If I go back when I'm dead to the state where I was before I was born, couldn't I happen again? You know, what has happened once can very well happen again. If it happened once, it's extraordinary. And it's not really very much more extraordinary if it happened all over again. So in other words,
Alright.
Hey, we back.
Forgot my water.
Yeah, go get your water. You're good.
Still salty about the.
About the artwork?
Yeah.
So we had to discuss.
Yeah, another album that wasn't on my list, right?
It wasn't on my list either.
Ooh, what could it be?
What could it be? What was our most anticipated album of this year that somehow didn't make it into neither of ours?
The most anticipated or
Yeah.
our most? Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Spit it?
Is it the new Spirit Box album?
No.
No.
You heard me talking about how hyped I was about the new Spirit Box album? No.
No.
We were both extremely hyped about an album that was about to come out.
The Fit for an Autopsy album?
that comes out next year.
Bro, aligning me.
Sleep Token.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
That happened. There is a new Sleep Token album that didn't make it onto our best of the year list.
I mean,
What are your thoughts?
I mean,
Spit it.
for what we had to do here, it's not the metal-est album ever. It's on the poppier side.
Yeah, but you put some
Yeah.
albums that could be similarly.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. But again,
If we're talking about a top 25 albums,
It would've
all
been-
genres
yeah,
considered,
yeah.
it doesn't make my list.
Damn, son. So you really didn't enjoy it too much, right? Same here. I mean, the singles were great, but
The bar was here, and I don't know. They're just missing. This album is just missing a lot of the elements that I enjoyed from the previous album. So for one, there's next to no heavy parts on the album, and I always say this, but I'm very, very into contrasts.
yeah.
And what I loved about the record before that was the dissonance between the very soft poppy vibe that they had and the crazy heavy riffs that were matched together. There's none of that on this album. And to me,
shame.
that's kind of what made the sound. I want to say I don't even really understand like the choice, like the why they kind of moved away from it. There's a few heavier riffs, but nothing like the album before.
Yeah. There's no-
Production
yeah.
is still great. The vocalist still sounds great. Instrumentally, like it's well written. There's, I mean, the drummer is as insane as always. Like everything, like cool songwriting, if you will. But to me,
It just misses the part where they were special for metalheads like us, I think.
right. So that's I think specifically that, right? Because for me, Sleep Token was such an anomaly in terms of what I would normally enjoy as like a metalhead, and then this album kind of took it a notch back and just took away from me what made it appealing for me as I guess a metalhead. So yeah, that's Sleep Token. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was kind of disappointed.
What is
It came at a weird time in my life this year. So there is a part of it that like I willingly do not go back to try and listen to it
Yeah,
because
me
it
too.
did come out at a weird time in my life and to be fair, it brings back memories and stuff and I'm like I don't want to go there. So there is a bit of that, but if it was good enough I would have went
for
back
sure.
to it.
You would have made new memories.
Yeah. But nah, there's just I don't know. It's I have a hard time with it. Can't do it.
There's a song I listen to a lot actually. It's Fall for Me, I think, the one that's just like just vocals.
Yeah.
Because it's a good song by itself.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Sleep Token, you know.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
still Sleep Token, but it feels more like a just good pop song that I just threw into like one of my playlists. But I won't go to listen to the album again too. I mean, if it pops in my playlist or something, I'll be happy to listen to it.
Yeah.
But I just won't go for it anymore.
Yeah.
And I still listen to Sundowning a lot.
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah, no, I still have that album on repeat. So it's not like this is the thing with I see a lot of people getting worked up about new albums that don't sound the way that they want them to. And to me it's like that doesn't really matter too much. Like obviously it would have been a nice to have if I can enjoy another album by a band that I like. But if I don't like a new album that someone puts out, I've still got their old music.
Yeah,
It's chill.
exactly.
I'll just listen to what I know I already like, and that's chill. I'm not expecting. A lot of bands will kind of switch up styles between albums and stuff, and go off, do your thing. Like I don't care. Like if I like it, I like it, and if I don't like it, I've got your old material. It's chill. Like I don't really care too much about that kind of stuff.
Sundowning will always be an insane album.
Yeah, like one of my top albums ever.
Yeah,
personally.
for sure. I mean, it's they changed the game, but they just changed the game with this.
Yeah. So that's our top 10. We've been going for over an hour and a half. We still got the news to get through.
Let's go.
We've got, I mean, so news. We were talking about this a bit before the stream. I mean, some of this stuff I put on because it's newsworthy in terms of metal.
The May one is funny.
Yeah, but some of these things maybe we both didn't really keep up with or don't really care so much about, so we can just call them out and be like, well, I don't really care about talking about this. There's definitely some things on there that I don't necessarily have anything much to say about, but I thought maybe you would. I don't know. I've got articles that I'm going to throw up on the screen as well, just so we can maybe read through some stuff, because a lot of these articles, it's kind of like what's said within these articles. I think like the details that are kind of interesting more than the actual event itself necessarily. So let's okay. Last thing before we get into that.
Yes.
I did some stats.
Really?
I did some very rudimentary stats. Okay. I went on the PRP, which a lot of the news that we're going to be looking at today, kind of the articles came from. Oh no, most of it came from Lamgo, but still, I look at a few metal outlets every other day. The PRP being one of them, and I went into the search bar and I searched for different terms, and I counted roughly how many results these things turned up, because we haven't talked about COVID this entire time, and I don't want to necessarily talk about COVID all that much, but I thought this was particularly interesting because, as we know, a lot of tours have been announced, and probably even more have been canceled or postponed. So if I look at, I searched cancel on the PRP, and there were 50 articles with the word cancel in the title. Some of them, caveat on this one, some of these articles were, I didn't go and proof that everyone was like exactly what we're looking for, because I'm just talking about tours on this. So tours that were announced, canceled, postponed,
except in
changed,
the US.
cut short, anything in that regard. So obviously, if I'm just searching cancel, some of the articles were about cancel culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so that out of the way. If I searched for cancel, there were 50 articles this year with cancel. Postpone.
The word of the year.
60.
Damn. That's
60 of them, and let's be clear too. I mean, obviously, it could be other circumstances, like it could be an album that's canceled or an album that's postponed. But let's get real. Most of these results, like 95+% of these,
about shows and
we're
tours.
still about shows and tours. COVID.
120-ish articles about COVID.
Yeah. So people getting COVID, tours being canceled. I guess.
What Corey
and stuff.
Taylor thinks about COVID.
What Corey Taylor thinks about COVID, all of that sort of stuff. 120 articles with COVID in the headline. 80 rescheduled.
Damn, that's a lot too.
80 articles with the word reschedule. So maybe some of these were maybe like shows or festivals and not necessarily tours, but most of them were tours, which is insane. Like, we're talking about
there's not even 20. There aren't even 80 tours a year. Like,
well, that's
major tours.
That's what it got me thinking. Like
every
how
tour has been canceled.
Like how many metal tours or metal adjacent tours get announced every year? Not all that many. We're talking 50 canceled, 60 postponed, and 80 rescheduled.
And there's still tours that happened like in the US
A bit.
this fall. Like,
Not
end of
a
summer
lot.
This fall.
Not a lot. And
Like the August Burns Red tour with Fit for a King, and like I don't know what else.
And to be honest, a lot of those tours, most of those tours got canceled throughout the tour.
Or shows were like some shows were canceled in the tour, but they kept going.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought this was kind of an interesting thing to observe, because I obviously we knew a lot was rescheduled, a lot was canceled, and stuff like that. But I was curious to know, like, to what point. And then as the numbers were piling up, I was like, how many tours are even announced?
Yeah, that's
every
crazy.
single year. Not like that many. We've got over 200 articles of things being postponed and
this
canceled.
is a year where there's a pandemic.
Right. So not
So
that
there's
many
not
tours were
even-
even
yeah.
announced,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's crazy.
so basically everything.
Yeah.
Minus a few tours. So yeah, I just
Everything,
found that
everything in
that
Europe
interesting.
basically was canceled.
Yeah,
Nothing
Europe's-
happened.
Yeah, Europe's everything's
Canada
everything's
too. I think like only US maybe had tours this summer-ish.
Yeah,
fall.
some bands were doing exclusively Texas tours because the rules there nobody gives a fuck.
Jesus.
The rules there are super lax with COVID, so bring your gun, bring bring your COVID. It's all good.
Oh Jesus.
But yeah, so that's just a little bit of stats before we get into the news. This isn't something I'm particularly. Wait, let me open this up.
This is funny though. This is funny.
It's absolutely insane. So, oh wait, let me put this back on. Oop, here. Here. Okay.
This is amazing.
What's Sammy saying? Many of
Ginger
these
Europe
considered
versus
separate tours with similar bands. Example: Ginger Europe versus US tour. I'm not sure what you mean, Sammy. Do you get what he's saying?
Many of these consider separate tours with similar bands. I'm not sure what you're talking about too. If you have an example. It would
Well, he's
be-
Ginger Europe versus US tour.
Like they did 2 tours. I mean, the tours happened in Europe and US for Ginger. That
Or
would
maybe
be-
did in one but not in the other. Is it
Oh, like maybe there's more numbers of tours canceled because some bands announced like world tours, but they made an
Right.
article for each leg maybe.
Oh, okay. So he's saying yeah. So maybe like a Ginger tour was canceled, but this was like technically several tours that were canceled, not
Like,
just like one because it
the-
was considered
yeah,
a world tour,
the,
right?
The year of shows by X,
Yeah,
X
yeah,
band was
yeah.
canceled, but it was like 4 or 5 tours.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I've noticed as well. A lot of now that. I mean, this year we saw shows and tours kind of coming back
Yeah.
way more. I mean, there were 0 the year
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
right?
2020 was- yeah.
So we did see some sort of a return to at least tours being announced, and a lot of the same bands
Mm-hmm.
are the ones that are touring, which I found to be particular when you see a high number announced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, some bands I feel like. Chelsea Grin has been like on tour a lot.
Really? They've been touring?
Yeah. Those are 2
Yeah.
tours canceled, postponed, not 1. Yeah, so the numbers are even higher. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I just feel like a lot of like Varials have been announced on like a bunch of different tours. Like there's certain bands
Lowe's
that
have been playing some shows in Europe, I think, in the UK, I think.
maybe, but what I'm saying is that I've been seeing a lot, maybe even on like the smaller band scale, like Enterprise Earth has been on a ton of tours.
Yeah, they toured like even
Or like
was the-
announced on like
yeah,
a bunch of tours.
It's crazy.
So some bands are like being plugged straight into whatever these new tour opportunities are, and I feel like there's like a small circle of bands that are the bands that are touring, and we haven't really seen everybody starting to tour again.
Yeah.
It's been like a very small circle of bands, I feel.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Like 4 or 5 bands that just.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say
Fine.
anything about those bands, but
Oh no, but some of those bands are a lot of those bands are deserving. That's okay. It's just I just found it particular that I guess it's an industry thing, or there's something within the inner workings of how these tours are being put together that dictated that a few of these bands are doing like there's technically no reason why some of these bands are doing multiple tours when others are doing 0. And I know that's not how the world works, but it's not either like only the most popular bands are touring, because
there's a
Enterprise
collection.
Earth is a big band, quote unquote, but they're not the biggest
Yeah. They're
either, right? So why them and not another? I don't know. It's just one of those things that I kind of noticed
Behind the scenes
recently. Yeah. So let's get into our our January news articles, we've got this Ice Earth's John Schaefer or Schaffer arrested for a role in Capitol riot.
This is great. This is amazing.
It's crazy because, I mean, there's not much to talk about this, but I just found this pretty crazy. He was like immediately like kicked out of the band, and I think the band disbanded afterwards. That's all it took. But like, how are you in a band with a dude that's so deep into these things?
Yeah.
And you're fine with it, but then this happens, and all of a sudden the band like quits on.
Yeah,
it's
that's
weird.
crazy.
Like,
I mean,
it's like clearly you knew this guy.
They
Was like,
know. They've been knowing for years.
pretty sure this
Yeah.
guy was pretty opinionated about this sort of things, right? So, so knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority. So he broke in with the rest of them.
He was on footage from this day, actually.
Yeah,
You could
exactly.
see him like in front with
They were on
with
footage,
flags and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he was seen on footage. So for a while they were looking for him, and then they found him. And then,
He was hiding.
and then.
Oh my God.
But then this was in
so
January.
insane.
But then I found. Wait, I need to put this.
Does he have a court date or anything?
Yeah,
Process
so
has
it's been going through, but then here in December we've got he's being sued by DC Attorney General over his role in the Capitol riot. So it says now Schaffer is among those being sued by District of Columbia Attorney General Carl Racine in what CNN calls an effort to recover the millions of dollars the city spent to defend the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th attack.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that are being sued from this thing.
No,
He
exactly.
must have been like really like in the front rows to.
So
do that
here,
thing.
so this is what I found interesting. It says here, Schaffer is a resident and citizen of the state of Indiana. Schaffer is a founding lifetime member of the Oath Keepers, which was like one of the main groups that kind of fronted this whole thing. Schaffer was criminally charged and indicted for his role in perpetrating the January 6th attack in U.S.
So he was in a alt-right group before.
Yeah. And now he's from what I'm understanding, he's like getting a plea deal for like outing other people or helping. He's like cooperating or whatever. But this is what I found interesting. He's a founding lifetime member of the Oath Keepers. He's not just like I'm along for the ride. Like he's like I made this shit.
Yeah, so the Ice Earth dudes were super good, super chill with the fact that one of their members was in a alt-right group.
Extremist kind of group.
That's funny.
So yeah, I don't know. I just
Says a lot.
I found this one interesting, but then ultimately, like I said, I think two of the other members, like, they kicked him out, and I think two of the members quit the band like the next week or some shit like that. So I think ultimately the band just doesn't exist anymore. But it's just like Ice Earth was like a notable band. Like these guys were doing huge tours, like doing like really big gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
like
power metal from the 90s, 80s even, I think. Ice Earth.
yeah. So so that's that.
January?
This is one of the crazier.
I don't even know what it is.
Called it this.
What?
This dude built a guitar out of his dead uncle's skeleton.
Is that even true? What the hell?
Man,
I'm not sure if it's amazing or scary. A bit of both, I think.
So when you read into it, it's like it kind of makes it better, but not really at the same time.
Is it even legal? No.
So here's the thing: he doesn't like. It's not like he doesn't live like in North America, from what I understand. He said. So okay, so you read that correctly, but your mind is spinning. I'll lay it out plainly for you. Prince attached a guitar neck, pickups, volume knobs, a jack, strings, and electronics to an entire skeleton that used to host his uncle's mortal being. And he made a functioning guitar out of it as a way to pay tribute to the man responsible for his love of heavy music. So Prince isn't some kind of morbid skeleton fetishist as far as we know, but rather sought to come up with a practical solution on what to do with his uncle's remains.
How do you end up legally with
Here.
the skeleton?
Here. In Prince's native Greece, the country's Orthodox religion frowns upon cremation.
Okay.
So his uncle Philip's bones had been around for over 2 decades before Prince decided to pay tribute to the man who taught him about the dark arts in the most metal way possible.
Okay, I get it now.
Still crazy, man.
How
Like
can you end up with the skeleton of someone? How? Now I get it.
dude,
There's an extensive set of pictures. That's
look at this thing.
Crazy. It's metal as fuck, though.
Yeah, there's a video I think here of him playing it. Look how his hand goes into the
Oh, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Damn. And he's playing Smoke on the Water or something like that?
I don't know.
Man.
Yep. So that's
I mean,
dude built a guitar out of dead uncle skeleton.
you could have like made a guitar and just put a picture on it or something, but it's, I don't know, it's metal.
It's the real deal, man.
I guess I remember when we were on tour with Depths and we went in Nashville in this oddity shop,
Yeah.
and there was a human skeleton.
Yeah.
My intonations are not good on the word skeleton.
Skeleton.
Skeletons.
Okay.
Skeletons, yeah. And there were a human skeleton, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
is it even legal? Guess in Greece.
No one's obligated to bury their bones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that's what it comes down to, I think. So that's
quite
that's
a February news.
yeah. This thing.
Stupid Spotify.
Yeah, I call this stupid Spotify website. Okay, so we're going to be on the same page for this, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you remember this. Spotify launches website to address royalty payment complaints.
Okay.
So basically, Spotify, since Spotify exists, has been shamed for the low amount of money that artists are getting back for the streams that happen on Spotify. This has been widely criticized from basically everyone, from artists to fans. You know, people that just consume music are like, well, I kind of feel weird about, we all do it. So no one really cares in the end. But even people that consume music are like, well, how are they getting like 0.1 of my cents? Like 0.1 penny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If I stream this fucking album all year long and I pay $10 a month to Spotify,
Yeah,
or 50,
exactly.
however it is.
Yeah.
So
Like the whole system is rigged.
right. So they put up a website and a video that was called Loud and Clear, titled "How the Money Flows," and basically the entire video. You're not going to watch it, but basically, if I can sum up the video, it was Spotify saying, "Hey, we know you think we're not giving enough money to artists, but hear us out. We are. It's the labels that are taking the money. It's not our fault."
The good old switcheroo.
Yeah, that's basically what it came down to. They also mentioned somewhere. What?
Sammy said Earth's friendly as fuck. Skeleton guitar.
Oh, the skeleton
Yeah,
guitar.
of
Yeah,
course.
earth-friendly as fuck for sure, man.
That's the future of guitars.
But yeah, man, it's just they were it's basically a website where they throw the blame elsewhere. They tout their numbers like, we gave X amount of money. Like they say how much revenue they put out. But yeah, it's fucking Spotify. So yeah, there's millions of dollars of money going out to different artists. But when you calculate how much artists are actually getting, it's like, well,
Give more money.
no, but it's like it's separated between so many people that like whatever, right? And then here it says, I heard Spotify pays a fraction of a penny per stream. Is that true? And this is the kind of dialogue that they're having. In the streaming era, fans do not pay per song, so we don't believe a per stream rate is a meaningful number to analyze. Convenient for you to
Okay.
say. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you talking about? Instead, we're focused on maximizing the total size of the payments we are able to make to rights holders, those who pay artists and songwriters, and we think the data on this site reflects our progress.
And other lies you tell yourself.
Yeah. So we understand that artists find it useful to calculate an effective per rate stream, dividing the total size of the royalty pool on Spotify by the number of total music streams on Spotify. We dig into that in the why does the per stream rate
they're saying,
appear
like-
lower on Spotify than some other streaming services question on the so it's like they acknowledge that that they're doing less, right? But then they go and tout their numbers again. This is what I was saying. Case in point, Spotify generates more money for rights holders than any other streaming service. As of 2020, Spotify has paid out 23 billion in royalties to right holders.
Everyone's on Spotify. There's more people on Spotify. That's why.
Yeah, and as of 2020, they paid 23 billion in royalties
To like 100 billion artists.
since Spotify's existed.
Yeah.
It's not like anyway. So I just this whole thing I found was kind of weird and just like a big deflection. But it was like it's just the way that it's set up. It's like we want people to understand loud and clear. We hear you, the people.
Yeah, we're not the bad
let us explain to you why we think you're wrong.
That's
Right?
exactly that.
It's so fucking weird. Like, so I don't know. I just remember seeing this this website come out, and like when it did come out, I read a good portion of it, and I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" And the video makes it seem even more childish.
Yep.
Because it's like in simpler terms, and it's just the way they're explaining it. It really seems like they're trying to explain how music works to children, and I'm like, "Fuck
Yeah,
you!"
with all the graphics
This
and
is-
everything.
it's like okay there. So yeah, that was Spotify's
didn't even-
stupid
I
website.
didn't even know about this, man.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Okay, I've got a few things in a row here, and here. Again, this is what I was saying earlier. It's not really the headline or like the subject of it, but sometimes it's in
the details.
In the details
Devil is
that.
in the details.
Yeah. Okay. So Nuclear Blast drops Rings of Saturn. This. Speaking of people like touting their own horn, Nuclear Blast has a long-standing history of supporting its artists, treating them with the utmost respect and integrity. This included Lucas Man and Rings of Saturn. I love how they out him specifically. Nuclear Blast is proud to provide this support and strives to make all of its artists feel comfortable when that they have a transparent, honest relationship with their label. Sadly, Lucas Man, on behalf of Rings and Saturn, they're like straight up saying it's him, and this is so good because there have been for years rumors about. Not really rumors. I guess it's probably a fact at this point that Lucas Man is like hard to work with, a bit of a diva, however you want to put it. But you know, this is common knowledge to everyone, I guess. But it's
not the
all
last,
really
he's not the
rumors. But it's all kind of rumors unless you've actually worked with them, right? But this is nuclear blast. this is Nuclear Blast in their own fucking press release. Outing him specifically. Sadly,
so
Lucas Man, on behalf of Rings of Saturn, has brazenly threatened to issue public statements condemning Nuclear Blast in the strongest terms possible if the label does not give in to his baseless demands.
They give a warning that Lucas Man will shit on him.
Yeah, basically,
crazy.
it's so good. And while Nuclear Blast is truly shocked and saddened by Lucas Man's actions, Nuclear Blast does not tolerate threats. Accordingly, Rings of Saturn has been dropped from the label. And here's the thing. Everyone was expecting, where I was at least, we were expecting something to come from Lucas Man / Rings of Saturn. Nothing.
Nothing at all. Like to
Nothing.
this
No
day?
comment.
Really?
Nothing.
That's crazy. That's the biggest
Unless
power
people can like dig deeper into Reddit and shit like that.
Twitter or
But
something.
I haven't seen any response. Dude, Lucas Man would have made a Twitter post. Trust that Lamgo would have made an article about it.
For
So no, I haven't been able to dig up anything. The next thing that we heard from Rings of Saturn is Rings of Saturn part ways with vocalist, now instrumental band. And here they say California Deathcore unit Rings of Saturn has issued an update, their first since being dropped by Nuclear Blast last month.
That's quite an update, right?
So the band revealed they're moving in a strictly instrumental direction and will no longer officially feature vocalist Ian Breer,
That's weird.
who joined the group nearly a decade ago.
That's fishy.
But then there's parts of this that are fucking amazing. We would love to have Ian Bearer on any tours we currently have booked, but that decision remains ultimately up to him.
Like, this feels like I mean, they had an argument or something, or like related to Lucas or anything, and he just like stopped to give any news and just like, you know what, I'm out. No pressure.
But
Like,
how do you not sort this shit out before putting out a press release?
Probably that they try to reach him and they're not even able to do it, and like, oh, dude, we're parting ways, but you know, if you're still down to be with us, like, just call us, man. Something like this. It feels like this.
I don't know, man. It's just weird to put out a press release and be like, yeah, we'd love for him to be on tour, but we can't get a hold of him, so
He's out of the band.
well, not even that. Just like, well, it's his decision. So if he wants to call us someday, maybe because we posted on Twitter, he's gonna finally respond to us. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's true. It's weird. Man.
It's so fucking weird. And then next thing that happened was, we would like to give a warm welcome to our original vocalist and voice of Embryonic Anomaly, Peter Pollack, who will be joining us on the Black Dahlia Murders Verminous European Tour 2022. So they brought their
old vocalist
back, and now the tour is, they're going to be playing like the album that he was featured on.
Okay.
That's the material they're going to be playing
Makes sense.
on this new tour. But he's not really like a full-time member. He's just there for the touring, but who knows, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but according to this, they were becoming an instrumental band. I don't, what the fuck, dude? Like,
yeah, it really feels like they don't have any news from Iron Beer for the last year, and like, oh, well, we have to move on and keep going, and yeah, it feels like it. That's weird.
I don't know. With everything that we've heard about Lucas, I wouldn't be surprised that it's probably less complicated than that, and probably some arguments going on. But hey,
It is what it is.
we'll never know. So that's that. Ticketmaster sneaky policy changes.
Still in April. Of
Did you get a glimpse of this? Did
I
you?
don't think so. Man, I just don't look that much at news from the metal world.
Mm-hmm.
I was following all the pages from this on Facebook, and then I just realized it was like too much for me, and I just I unsubscribe from those pages, so I miss a lot of news. But when there's big news, I still see them. But this, I think I remember, but I'm not.
So basically, obviously, Ticketmaster has a policy in terms of refunds when shows are canceled. But also, obviously, in the past 2 years, a lot has been, postponed, a lot has been canceled, and they kind of overnight decided, hey, we're going to take a few words out of our policy. And
Sneaky.
we're basically saying, hey, because before you could, if a show was postponed, if a show was canceled, you'd get your money back, but then they took out the postponed part. So it's basically just only if a tour was canceled,
Yeah, they won't.
they'll issue you a refund, but that's it. Let's be honest, most tours were postponed instead of canceled, but that just meant that, like, and if you look at the real life scenario, like, having something postponed, it's cool that the show is maybe still going to happen, but that doesn't mean the person that bought the ticket is still going to be available to be able to go to that show. I've had postponed shows. I was supposed to go see Dance Gavin Dance, for example, and it was on a certain day of the week that I knew I had off. Let's say it was on a weekend day. I specifically chose the city we were going to because it was on a weekend. That rescheduled date
Just won't work. Yeah.
wasn't necessarily on a weekend. It doesn't necessarily work. So it's small stuff like that that obviously, when policies like this change and they didn't make a statement about it, they didn't make a post about it, it just kind of happened in the fine print, and that's it. So obviously people were pissed off.
And it's so obvious that it happens because of the pandemic. So it's not like, oh, we've been thinking about it for many months or something. Or it's a direct response for those like thousands of shows that have been postponed.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly just to not lose money anymore for them. It's crazy.
Exactly, and then obviously Ticketmaster doubled down and weren't like, oops, our bad. Like they didn't revert it. They eventually reverted it, but at first, typically event organizers have had the flexibility to offer refunds for virtually all postponed and rescheduled events, according to a post on the company's Twitter page. However, the unprecedented volume of over 30,000 events impacted to date, coupled with continued uncertainty over setting new dates while awaiting clearance from regional governments, has led to event organizers needing additional time to reschedule their events or deciding to offer refund options. This is, again, a company that's saying, hey, guys, it's not us. That's what they're saying. They're saying it's the event organizers that need more time. No,
That's crazy.
It's not.
No, it's totally bullshit.
This is a Ticketmaster policy, not a policy from the event organizers per se. So this is just Ticketmaster, because obviously money flows to the organizers, but it flows through Ticketmaster as well. So obviously people complained, and I think they eventually reverted it.
They're right to complain, because
obviously
it's theft.
Straight up. Because I gave my money to something that doesn't happen anymore. Why would we protect your money more than my money, right?
Yeah.
Because this was something I paid for that I'm not getting in the end. Why would the event organizer be the one keeping the money in the meantime, or ultimately always keeping the money by not offering refunds on a postponed fucking show? Are you fucking kidding me?
That absolute bullshit.
So yeah, I think this was reverted ultimately, but this was good. It is really as simple as this: money was provided for a service. If the service is not provided when it was promised, the money should be returned. Since you figured out the logistics with taking our money, please figure out the logistics with getting it back. The end. I think that sums it up pretty well.
Crazy response.
So that was that. I missed this.
The month of May.
So I missed this. I did not miss the news that Tim Lambesis caught on fire himself.
Yeah.
That was a big news story this year. Obviously,
all of his tattoos were burned.
Yeah, and what, like one of his new bands is called Born Through Fire? Is that not it? Yeah.
Yeah, his new project.
Okay. So all that aside, I didn't realize that he was being sued.
No, I didn't caught up.
It says, unfortunately, he wasn't the only person injured in the mishap, and a California woman is now suing him over her injuries. So according to Fox 5, she alleges that she was standing near a fire pit at the North County residence of Lambesis' parents when he sprayed an accelerant into the fire, causing flames to explode out upon her back, midsection, and arm. Barcina says she suffered second-degree burns and subsequently lived with intense pain and suffered burn scars.
Oh my God, what the hell?
She had accompanied a friend to the Lambesis home for a social gathering, and she filed a suit in San Diego.
People that's coming to his party. Man,
Lambesis' parents are also named as defendants.
Incredible.
Yeah, so I knew he had burned, but you know, when you hear of a story like this where it's like, dude does this, like fucking sprays accelerant into the fire and it backfires towards him and he burns himself, I'm like, well, his problem.
Yeah.
His thing. Like, I don't have pity for the guy once again. But then you find out other people were involved, and it's like, that's not cool. It's just like, fuck, man, that's
not cool.
So he tried to hire a hitman for one and burned another. He did more damage on this one than the last one.
2 strikes, my guy.
2 strikes. Fucking man, guys.
I mean, he was probably on substances, I guess, some maybe party stuff. I mean, we all like as teenagers or kids try to. What's gonna happen if I push some I don't know, some Febreze into fire? What's gonna happen? You know, just to laugh. But this guy is like 35.
I look at a dude like Tim Lambesis, and in my mind, I'm like, there's no way this guy's stupid enough to not think this is a possibility. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was stupid enough to try to kill his wife. So I don't know.
Yeah, so that's Born Through Fire.
I guess that's the big news. Like everyone's still talking about this, right?
This one here is I think the biggest thing that happened in Deathcore, at least for sure. Will Ramos. I'm not even sure what it is. Well, what time is it? No, okay. Will had played a few shows with Lorna Shore right before the pandemic hit. He wasn't announced as their new vocalist, but he played a few shows. I think it was like a Black Dahlia murder tour with Viscera. And so there were live videos floating around with Will on vocals. But then when they did announce him, it was with the music video for To the Hellfire, which was a new song as well. Everyone knows the breakdown and the part and the snarl before the breakdown and kind of the impact that this has had on probably a good chunk in terms of popularizing deathcore again.
Yeah,
because this was all over TikTok. A lot of people were exposed to this song
and to deathcore for the first time.
Deathcore probably for the first time because of this song. So
and it's quite the song too. It's not like it's not an accessible song.
No, that's it. This is definitely not like a gateway band or song by any means.
Super heavy, super tech.
Yeah, and especially like the part that everyone's clamoring about. It's heavy as fuck.
It's hard to not it's hard to listen, but it's heavy even for us, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about this aside from the fact that like I had a lot of fun actually just seeing all this content being made on TikTok, on YouTube, reactors from the metal world, but a lot of reactors from outside the metal world, vocal coaches and stuff like that. Probably the most like reacted song in well, at least in deathcore for sure.
Exactly.
Of the year, and this Lorna Shore, yeah. They eventually put out that 3-song EP, which has been super popular, and they've already, I think, come out of the studio. I think they already have a new album recorded. I know they were in the studio. I'm pretty sure by now it's finished.
So hard, man.
And so yeah, I mean, hoping that next year we get another album by them.
They don't want to drop it again, I think.
No, there's no sleeping for Lorna Shore.
Nope.
But I mean, these guys, month or two after this came out and became super viral, they were announced on that Bring Me the Horizon, A Day to Remember tour, which is fucking huge. So these guys are Lorna Shore.
Dude, this is historic.
From one day to another is playing arenas, right?
Yeah, it's historic for deathcore, man.
So this is super cool. Imagine
deathcore is back in arenas, man.
Imagine Lorna Shore playing in front of like a packed arena full of Bring Me the Horizon and A Day to Remember fans. It's huge for them. That is huge for them. So yeah, this is super cool. What do we got next?
Ooh, yes, Lotus Eater. I sing this.
Yeah, so this...
How can you trust someone with this haircut?
Okay, I mean, there's that. Lotus Eater breaks up amid allegations. As you might have guessed, the accused denies any wrongdoing. I just found this one to be interesting because essentially a vocalist of a band gets called out by a bunch of ex-girlfriends for being abusive, and they kick him out of the band, but then a few hours later announce their breakup. And they had an album coming out. This news was in July 10th. Their album was coming out July 23rd, and it never came out.
Never came out?
Never came out. They put out one single for. I'm pretty sure one single.
Damn.
Maybe they have another single, but I'm pretty sure just one single. With Oliver Sykes of "Bring Me."
Ooh, yeah.
And then this happened, and it just killed the band. Died.
Do you think they'll try to bounce back with someone else and keep the album?
This was 6 months ago. I doubt they're gonna do it. They really said Lotus Eater 2016 2021.
Jesus.
Like they break up.
That's what?
This
crazy.
dude made a big post about him having changed because he is now 25 years old. Completely denying the entire thing. And my partner Kirsty is also making a statement about my character. I am not who you.
I mean, you can have a girlfriend.
Who you are saying I am. Exactly. So it's just like,
this means
okay.
nothing.
He says he's taking legal actions. I have
Yet to see anything.
haven't seen anything. I don't know if anyone cares enough to actually follow up on this sort of stuff. Like, if he did go to court or whatever, I don't know if any news outlets would have even like picked up on it. But I just found it interesting that their album that was coming out not even 2 weeks later, just completely chalked. Yep. So that's that.
Well.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
Do you have anything to say about this? Because I'm not. I'm not
a huge fan of Slipknot either, but I mean,
I don't mind Slipknot. I just didn't grow up on Slipknot,
Nope.
so this means a lot more to other people than it does to me, and I guess to you.
I've been a Slipknot fan of my own right, but nothing like. I wasn't the biggest fan of Slipknot, but I love the music. I love the band too,
But that being said, the news of their drummer passing.
he was pretty young actually, 46.
He's 46.
Yeah. I mean, Corey Taylor had a bunch of things to say about it.
They did a whole tribute thing, and it was a big deal. But I'm bringing this up specifically because this probably was one of the bigger
news of this year.
Bigger news of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the more talked about news things to happen in metal for sure this year. I mean, most news things are like, oh, so and so left this band and whatever. Like, no one really cares. But someone from such a huge band dying at such a young age for no evident
sad.
reason, like he didn't die of old age, is what I'm saying.
Do we know what is the cause of death, or
I
It's not
haven't
exposed, right?
I haven't looked into it. I have no clue. I don't know if it eventually came out. I mean, at 46, I don't know, man. Big rock
Alcohol,
star.
yeah.
Maybe it's drugs and alcohol. Who knows?
classic mix?
But I don't know. But this definitely, like, the day that this happened,
Yeah, it was all over the news.
I think I deliberately didn't look at social media for the rest of the day after a while, because literally the only thing that was on social media was about this, and it's not like, oh, I don't want to see this. It was just like, okay, I'm not getting anything out of it.
I feel like mainstream media, like Radio Canada, did a
Yeah.
did an
Oh yeah,
article about
no. This got picked up by big news outlets and everything too. So yeah, rest in peace,
Yep,
Joey.
Of course.
Okay, so
Josh Miller. Oh, I haven't caught that he was joining Spite.
right,
The drummer?
yeah.
Dude, okay, that explains a lot.
So
Baby G. Baby
yeah,
J, actually.
yeah, Jake. He announced his departure from Immure.
I've been with my dudes for almost 5 years now. Some of the best years of my life. I mean, it doesn't look So
This is a pretty regular kind of statement in terms of him leaving. Yeah, so this is a pretty standard thing, but then eventually when Spite announced that they were signing to Rise Records, they at the same time
is amazing.
yeah, at the same time they
This is
announced
crazy.
Josh being with them, and yeah, they put out a new song since. They put out a new song a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. The song is absolutely nuts, and the drumming is as well. So I'm super excited about this. It's not the biggest news article, but I just found cool to just see someone. I don't know if he quit the band and already knew he was moving to a band like Spite, or if an article like this kind of got people talking like, hey, Josh Miller is on the market
He's a free
maybe
agent now,
for
yeah.
a new band. Maybe that's how it ended up working with Spite. I don't know.
You'll never know unless we ask.
Yeah, I mean, we could know. And maybe if we look at other like interviews or articles or whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to point this out because I think this is a really cool addition to Spite and Imura. Well,
Really fitting.
whatever.
For real.
Okay, this is like a few things. So let me do this. Okay,
I
so
love this song, man. Do you love it?
I
Are you a fan of Limp Bizkit?
complete transparency. I haven't even listened to it.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the first new music from Limp Bizkit in like 7 years or something like that. They performed it live at Lollapalooza, which was...
This was the meme of the year.
It was the meme of the year because of how he showed up. Limp Bizkit coming back altogether was news, but I think this whole meme thing definitely put a lot more fuel to the fire.
course.
And so they played this track at Lollapalooza, which was the day before they started their tour with Spirit Box,
yeah,
which
that's true.
Spirit Box touring with Limp Bizkit
Would
on
have
their
been
reunion tour
crazy.
is absolutely huge for Spirit Box.
Of course.
Really cool. Love that they were able to get the gig. Unfortunately, I think they played 3 shows. So they had, I think it was a series of 12 shows, but this is all like arena shows. They played Lollapalooza, then they played Chicago. I think they played the first 3 dates, and then this date was canceled, and then they canceled the rest of the tour. So, and then obviously, they were being very vocal. Fred Durst being very vocal about his thoughts on COVID.
What did he say?
1, Westmoreland does not have COVID. 2, the system is seriously flawed. 3, we don't care much about the BS. Whatever. And then he said, we're going to have new music soon. So they canceled the rest of the dates. And then the month after, they put out their song Dad Vibes digitally, like the actual song. But dude, look at this.
Dude, it's insane. Of course, COVID was present in this event. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's too much people.
And
It is what it is.
Oh yeah, I put this one in. Out of abundance of caution and concern for the safety of the band, crew, and most of all the fans, the Limp Bizkit show this Monday and the remaining of
least-
August tour is being canceled.
People would be refunded.
Oh, right. This is why I put this in. A day after canceling a New Jersey show just 20 minutes before its scheduled start. Oof. Can you imagine that?
That hurts. People were in the venue. People were in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I can imagine, like we've heard of, you know, other scenarios where for whatever reason band member can't perform, so they cancel the show or shit like that. But 20 minutes before the show is supposed to
rough,
start,
man.
the entire fucking place is full. A show this big
Yeah, an arena big of people.
being canceled 20 minutes before it starts. Imagine
Feels-
being in the crowd and being like,
It reminds me of it's a classic event in Montreal, but when Metallica came with Guns N' Roses and Guns N' Roses fucked it up, you know, there have been riots after.
Yep.
Just like this.
yep. So I honestly I didn't hear anything about how it was getting back out of that show, but Jesus, man.
Yep, that's rough.
And then first week sales for Limp Bizkit still sucks blow. So they landed at 155 on the
they
Billboard
released the album,
200.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the album has been out.
Still sucks.
To give you a real perspective on how far the Mighty have fallen, that means Still Sucks sold fewer copies in its first week than Kin, Whitechapel's album, which did notoriously bad for them, which is one of their worst selling albums.
Wait.
The new Whitechapel album?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a new Whitechapel album?
Yeah,
They released it?
yeah.
The first single was crazy.
Yeah, but everything afterwards wasn't.
Holy crap. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize they released
Maybe
the
you'll
album.
like it. Maybe it's more your type
check
of
it
thing.
out for sure.
That first single was absolutely insane, but it's the only but I'm proud of this. And Bleed the Future, the latest offering of Tech Death outfit Arcspire. Arcspire sold. So this
More
is
records?
This, the singer of Arcspire just found out that we beat Limp Bizkit in first week album sales. My work on Earth is done.
That's it. They deserve
Dude,
it. Yeah.
and to be fair,
Yeah.
Arcspire like had a great showing, right? And have been super hype. But to get more album sales than Limp Bizkit, I don't care how terrible your Limp Bizkit album is.
It's a Limp Bizkit album.
It's a Limp Bizkit
Yeah,
album. I would have figured still a minimal amount of streams and sales, but apparently not. So. Yeah, all that to culminate to this news because I found, especially how they were wording this with, this one, all the articles for this album release was like Whitechapel fails to crack the top 100 or is worse, like their worst
first one.
sales ever or whatever.
They didn't even chart it on the 200 Billboard.
Ken is also their first since their 2007 debut, Somatic Defilement, not to make it onto the Billboard 200.
They're not in their prime, though.
No, absolutely not. But it's just, ouch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This album
It's a household name for sure.
beat out Limp Bizkit. Still,
Yeah.
that's the comparison that's being made is the fact that they bombed
And Limp Bizkit
still
still bum.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Limp Bizkit news. All right, we don't have to go. We don't have to go too deep into this one, but
Tom Barber, the man, the myth, the legend.
Chelsea Grin vocalist says he won't play shows where vaccination is required. Obviously, they had, I think they had a tour in Europe already scheduled and a tour in the US as well that were like announced.
I mean, they could play the US shows, maybe some dates. There's places where.
They've played a tour since.
Oh, yeah, they played the tour.
That's the thing. Yeah, they did
Tom
this
Barber?
tour with Tom Barber and Brand of Sacrifice was on that tour. But yeah, so it was just if his tweet was if your country or state requires me to be vaccinated to play a show, I will not play the show. So
It was probably high when he wrote this.
It was. I mean, to be fair, he's been super like anti-vax and like into conspiracies and stuff like that. If you follow him on Instagram and so and Twitter and stuff like that, so this wasn't necessarily a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
But this type of a statement was still like, what does that mean for Chelsea Grin? Chelsea Grin is going to want a tour.
He threw his old band under the bus.
So it's like, well, are Chelsea Grin going to cancel tours? Are they going to find a replacement? Is he going to end up just playing the shows?
No
What
rounds.
happens with this statement? Like, what's up? Eventually...
Did they issue a statement or?
guys, the UK has literally been the worst in terms of regulations and vaccinations. Everyone got COVID 3 times over. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, so it's I don't know, man. It was just a weird. I think people were not so shocked about his statements, but more so questioning what the future of Chelsea Grin was. People were saying they're probably gonna kick him out of the band. Like what? Like
And
why?
they haven't
Why
said
would
anything about it?
not as far as I know. Well, no, but they just
That's why they've still been able to tour in the weirdest circumstances.
In Europe, yeah. But mainly bands that are from Europe.
I think, yeah.
Because
bands like Loath, been touring. Novelist has been touring too, I think.
I saw when Shadow of Intent postponed for a second time their tour not too long ago. They were talking.
The week before, yeah.
They were talking about the fact that no North American band had pulled off a Euro tour since COVID, and I think that's true. So, yeah, I think that's what it kind of comes down to. Most tours that have been able to happen are all local, for sure. Like people aren't crossing countries, for sure. So, yeah, that's that. We got
Tommy Vexed.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like skipping this one.
Yeah.
It's just just buff dudes on the internet tweeting at each other, whatever.
Machine Gun Kelly pelted with bottles. That is so funny.
So you heard the kind of beef he had with Corey Taylor?
Good old Corey Taylor, man. Yes, I read all about it. This is the news. When it's about Corey Taylor, I'm always there. I love this guy, man.
A quick recap in case you missed it. Kelly made headlines in September when he ripped on Slipknot on stage at Chicago's Riot Fest. Both Slipknot and MGK closed out the fest, playing on different stages at the same time. In an apparent response to not frontman Corey Taylor telling an interviewer that he hates the artist who failed in one genre and decided to go rock.
And MGK took that personally.
Kelly told the Riot Fest audience that Slipknot were old, weird dudes with masks.
Which they are, man.
And he was happy that he isn't 50 years old wearing a fucking weird mask on a fucking stage.
I mean, to be fair, they are old, weird dudes with masks. And it is what it is, and it's okay to be old, weird dudes with masks.
It is what it is. And then, but then there was this whole thing when they started kind of digging into it,
like
where
there was supposed to be a featuring or something, yeah?
Yeah, and I remember reading the thing, and I think MGK was outing Corey Taylor for something, and he brought up the emails and was like, no, dude, like
the screenshots.
Yeah, he brought up like the screenshots, basically like I think himself saying that he didn't want to be a part of the song, whereas like MGK was wording it differently and making Corey look bad. Then the MGK played Louder Than Life festival. Rapper was met with a chorus of boos and a sea of middle fingers. Afterwards, Kelly posted on social media, "I don't know why the media lies in their narrative against me all the time, but all I saw was 20,000 amazing fans at the festival singing every word and 20 angry ones." But then at Aftershock, it was really apparent. We got a ton of videos where he's just like really fucking booed, bottles thrown at him, and branches and shit being thrown at him. So he can say all he wants. He can.
Yeah, footage is there.
But the footage is there. So that was that. But that was Corey Taylor being Corey Taylor, and Machine Gun Kelly kind of being the receiver,
Mr.
receiver
Taylor.
of that.
Ronnie Radke shirt. What is that?
You haven't seen this? So, following in reverse is Ronnie Radke threatens band wearing "Fuck Ronnie Radke" shirt.
This is the most Ronnie Radke thing I ever saw in my life. That's Ronnie Radke. It's the essence of Ronnie Radke. Insane.
Addressing the concert goer directly, Radke said, "Where's the guy with the 'Fuck Ronnie Radke' shirt? He saw me and then he pulled it down. You do not want the fucking smoke, homie. I will beat your fucking ass. This is not Twitter."
Oh my God, Ronnie Radke in all his glory.
Radke went on to explain that his 8-year-old daughter was nearby on stage and called the man disrespectful. Ronnie added, "You're a misled motherfucker and you're too old to be doing that shit. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself, man."
Oh, Ronnie is sad. Oh my God.
Yeah, so being...
That's funny, man.
Because one dude in the fucking huge-ass crowd at a festival, mind you, not his own show, at a festival, is wearing a "Fuck Ronnie Radke" shirt. God damn!
What? Cannibal Corpse frontman Corpse Grinder's name removed from World of Warcraft over homophobic remarks. What?
Yeah, so he had a character in WoW named after him because obviously
Gorge the Corpse
it's
Grinder.
it's Cannibal Corpse frontman.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
fucking huge, and he's always been very vocal about
he has a
loving
horror
World of
tattoo,
Warcraft.
right?
Exactly, yeah. So he's always been very vocal about loving World of Warcraft. He eventually got his name as an NPC.
PNG. NPC. Is it PNG?
Is
That's
Corpse
a
Grinder with a
National
transparent background.
No, his background isn't so transparent. That's what we knew. That's what we learned in this article.
Yeah, so he has this interview that came back up, an interview in 2007 where he says some homophobic remarks, saying that he is not whatever. And for whatever reason, this kind of came back up in 2021. And this was, I don't know, some sort of a debate over cancel culture or not or whatever. And I just found it kind of funny to point out.
Jesus.
Yeah. So his character is no.
Yard Basis quits after a year after allegations.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
This one's weird. Bass player and co-founder Joshua Woodward has exited the band after nearly 2 decades together. He was accused of sexual misconduct last year, allegations he publicly denied. However, in the wake of the Bring Me the Horizon recruiting A Day to Remember to support them on their forthcoming headlining tour, those accusations have fervently resurfaced on social media. So essentially, he made a statement way back when the allegations surfaced saying he was innocent. The band didn't do anything about it. And then I guess pandemic happened, was happening, so no tours were happening, nothing of mention was actually happening, so that just kind of got swept under the rug eventually with time. And now they were announced on a big tour, and people were quick to notice, hey, this dude's still in the band.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up, guys?
Yep.
So eventually he made this statement and quit the band.
It's things
by
you
himself.
discuss when you have time on your hands, like in a pandemic, I guess, too.
Yeah, so
Bands
I don't know
meeting and stuff.
who's to know who's in the right, who's in the wrong, but I mean, I'm for one, I know false allegations exist, but I don't think they are. I think they are far from the majority.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think if we even just look at the
It's random.
percentage of people that are defending themselves versus how many are coming out, I think it's pretty clear that some of these dudes are in the wrong. Like there's no fucking doubt. So whether he is or not, I don't know. But
He's
come
the
on,
bass
man.
player of a Day to Remember. He's not Ronnie Radke, you know.
So yeah. So anyways, that happened. This was just funny again because of because of the contents. I guess more.
Death threats. What the hell?
So a band dropped off a tour because of death threats, and
They have been threatened, or they are doing.
they were being threatened.
Holy crap!
Why?
I don't know.
Because of sexual abuse allegations. Again. So, Oregon metalcore group Dead Crown have dropped off their current U.S. tour with Attila and Jinx just days after the trek commenced. According to a statement issued by the band, Dead Crown made a collective decision to head home after receiving countless death threats on our van/trailer and belongings, phone calls to our day jobs attempting to get us fired, and spammed calls to venues/promoters attempting to get us removed from the shows. Dead Crown attribute the aforementioned threats to the misinterpretation of our song's lyric on a social media platform. The lyrics in question are to the Dead Crown track No Remorse, which many Dying Wish vocalist Emma Booster among them believe to be a response to the domestic abuse allegations leveled at drummer Brighton Wilson last year. So dude gets called out, dude doesn't leave band makes a song with fishy lyrics.
Big brain energy.
Because that's what a band that sounds kind of like Attila is going to write lyrics about, and then people call them out for it because it's like, hey, you're writing these lyrics, but kind of looks like you're talking about yourselves. And so they're getting death threats and all this stuff, so they left the tour.
Well, no one's going to remember Death Crown in 5 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is just weird. Obviously, these are a bunch of bros sticking up for their bro, but I think that's gonna cost them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna cost. I just I just want to point this out because this is more deathcore related, and I feel not enough people have been talking about this.
This is horrendous. Really, really is.
So they decided to do a re-release of their album Hate because why not? It's not 10 years old. It's like an off weird number.
Because CG McMahon is in this band, right?
And because they can make money by re-releasing stuff on vinyl, I guess. So, but then they issued a new music video for one of the tracks. This is like 4 albums ago. And it is... I'm not, because this is going to go on a podcast, I'm not going to like actually play this too much, but for anyone who's watching, like I'll just play a short segment.
It's terrible.
The music video, no disrespect to whoever made it or the band, but it looks like
PS2 cutscene?
Pre-PS1 graphics.
Oh yeah, for sure.
More than N64, but Jesus. I don't get what the appeal is of.
It looks like a previs in VFX.
Yeah, I don't know why they put out this song like this. It's got 150,000 views, which is not nothing, but it's definitely like no one really cares. At the same time, this band is huge. Like, there's no reason why they wouldn't get more views on something that was substantial.
Yeah,
like a new song would get way more than this for sure. No one's really talking about it in here, but I just this is one of the more confusing things for me to have come out in deathcore all year. I just what's going on? I don't under. You see videos like this come out as like satire, kind of like a joke
like
or something.
Like the band Igor with two or three R's that do like some 3D weird stuff too, but it's as a joke. But
yeah, or like Bill Murray, the dude from Attack,
of course,
doing super like bad green screen CGI stuff, but like it's part of the meme and stuff. This is them taking themselves seriously, but.
They're not messing around with this one.
It's just, I don't know. This is...
November. Randy Blythe, Mean Coin. Haven't seen it.
No, you haven't seen this? Lamb of Gods, Randy Blythe, and Devil Drivers, Des Fafara.
Chakra Coin.
Back to new cryptocurrency, Chakra Coin.
Shout out to all my Naruto lovers in the chat. Chakra Coins. Let's go.
Yeah. So it's
I mean, everyone's doing
it, right? So on one hand, I can almost not fault them for it, but it's the I guess the idea behind it and their explanation for it that really makes me wonder even more so what the fuck is going on. Chakra Coin, a new cryptocurrency designed to foster community and invest in charitable causes. Yeah, but what does that mean?
I don't know.
Like how?
I don't even understand what.
I'm a believer in Chakra Coin, explains Fafara.
This is if you take this sentence out of context, it means literally nothing. I'm a believer in Chakra Coin. Put that on a t-shirt, man. That's crazy.
We started this venture to create a community of giving back and paying it forward. I will donate partial proceeds to multiple charity
Proceeds of
organization. I hope that everyone who participates in Chakra Coin will do the same. Create a better world and well, okay, so you buy
Chakra coins.
it's like shares.
Okay.
Right? It's like you're buying shares. The price might go up. It might go down. You can buy them. You can sell them.
Why
That's the basis of what this is.
Why not giving the money directly to, you know?
Well, because technically, if he makes profit, like he could make profit
Yeah.
from this, and this could be a recurring thing more than just a one-time donation. Technically, I get the ideas, but the basis of it being a new cryptocurrency designed to foster community and invest in charitable causes. But then their statement says, I will donate partial proceeds to multiple charity organizations. I hope that everyone who participates in Chakra Coin will do the same.
It's to make money.
There's no system.
Yeah, it's just like
It's not like you're automatically like if you invest in Chakra Coin, it takes a part of it and gives it back. There's like it's all on good faith.
Yeah.
It's all on like
buy some and let's hope people will do the same as us.
so it's ultimately not a cryptocurrency designed to foster community and invest in charitable causes.
Hope it will.
And then then it is similar to Shiba Inu, SafeMoon, and other cryptocurrencies that took the global financial ecosystem by storm. So they're mentioning
Are they calling Shiba Inu the Dogecoin?
yeah, but they're essentially they're naming like popular like coins, but that have something else. Like these are meme coins, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, SafeMoon, and all of the
My
stuff
hope
happening
is
with
that
cryptocurrencies is immensely exciting.
My hope is that
Okay.
Chakra Coin will encourage others to share the wealth with the less fortunate. Jesus.
I think this comment was the best. No one is reading that. Also, trust no one over 40, let alone 50 in a new metal band.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's just. Let me take financial advice from a white guy with dreadlocks who murdered some European and another with a chin tattoo and pierced nipples. Make it rain, boys.
Oh man, I had completely forgotten that Randy Blythe was accused of killing someone.
Yeah,
This is old news. This is like years ago.
and it's super unfortunate. Like it's not like it's not like
He's been like
it's not like one of those things where I'm like
he's free of charge, right?
I'm not saying that Randy Blythe's a murderer, like by any means. Like whatever, people can have their opinions on all that stuff. It's the only thing I can say about that whole thing is that what happened is unfortunate.
Yeah, of course.
Everything else is up to law and what other people think. I'm not invested enough in Lamb of God to care enough to have a stance on if he should be convicted or not or whatever. Clearly he wasn't, and all's good. But I just found this whole crypto thing to be weird.
Yes, of course. Of course.
You already forgot the name.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
that's most people's reactions with
The girl that pissed on a fan.
yeah. So
That's insane.
New York collective Brass Against, who have made a name for themselves by skillfully covering Rage Against the Machine and Tool, amongst others, wrapped up the first night of Florida's Welcome to Rockville Festival Thursday on a memorable
It's a huge
note.
festival, right?
It's huge.
What?
Yeah. And
Why
I
cover
think
bands play this festival? What?
and wrapped up the first night. Like they were the last band to play.
Like after the headliner, like
Well,
just
it's
like
that's
keep the
usually what
party
it is,
going.
but still, yeah.
Yeah.
So specifically, vocalist Sophia urinated on a fan's face.
Man. Here we
She
go again.
reportedly complained of having to pee several times during the band's set before securing a volunteer from the crowd to serve as her
Oh, the
toilet.
dude was a volunteer.
Yeah, while
come
she and her
on.
bandmates covered Rage Against the Machine's "Wake
That's
Up."
alright.
You didn't see the footage?
No.
The dude goes
Put his hands like this or something?
no his face on the ground under her while she takes her pants down and urinates on his face.
But if everyone's consented, what is... It's just weird.
The
What is the issue?
the issue is that you're playing on a stage in front of thousands of people, and you're getting essentially naked and peeing on someone. It's obviously blatantly indecent exposure.
I mean, people died at the Travis Scott show.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So I get. I mean, this isn't an 18 plus show.
Yeah.
This
understand.
isn't a Brass Against show either.
Of course.
So that's what's particular with festivals, right? Like
there's dads and moms with their kids and stuff like this.
and there's people. Most people that are there are not there for you necessarily either.
Wasn't the headliner of Welcome to Rockville something like Foo Fighters?
Probably.
And it's like a family band, something like that. Yeah.
Sure, but family band or not, it's like the difference for me is that if this had happened at a Brass Against show in a fucking club or like pub somewhere, and everyone that was in the venue had paid to come see them, and that this, for whatever reason, was like a common occurrence, and everyone knew what they were getting into. It was even written on the flyer that she was going to piss on someone's face. Everyone that walks up in that venue...
Some bands do stuff like this everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, it's no different to me than people like Gigi Allen and stuff like that that fuck themselves up on stage, and God knows there's probably been a ton of fucking dicks flung out on stage too.
Of course.
But you know, on a big concert and stuff like this, there is part of me that thinks that if this was a dude, the coverage for sure
Would have been,
and the sort of repercussions would have been different for this. So that's where I have sort of an issue with this whole thing, because honestly, her peeing on someone's face in like on stage, I don't give a fuck. Do what you want, and even like if you bring your kids out to like a big fucking music festival,
it can happen.
You probably saw a pair of tits somewhere from the crowd. And you know, that's that, right? So these sort of things are kind of to be expected. I think there was like for people, there was a line that was crossed somewhere along those lines. I don't give a fuck. I would have been at the festival. I would have been with my kids. I wouldn't have given a shit. But this apparently there were charges that were being pressed, and
Charges were being pressed.
I don't think anything serious is going to come out of it, but so obviously they made a statement afterwards on, I think, on Twitter or something. We had a great time last night at Welcome to Rockville. Sophia got carried away. That's not something the rest of us expected, and it's not something you'll see again at our shows. Thanks for bringing it last night, Daytona. Okay. All right, so worst case scenario, this was an insane publicity stunt for them.
Of course.
I don't know how.
We're talking about it right now.
We're talking about it right now. Although I brought this up, and this article came out November 12th.
Yep.
This came out a little over a month ago, and you had already forgotten what the band name was. There's that to say, and I doubt they can really brand themselves on flyers as the band who pissed on this guy's face at a festival, like to attract people and get people to remember who, like, why they remember the name Brass Against.
Yeah, the famous Rockville pissers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd have to come up with like a slogan or something like that to actually reap the rewards of that. Because I don't think they're getting more fans to come see them at a show if they're playing a regular gig anytime soon. But so that to me was one of the crazier news stories.
Man, absolutely. And it brings us to like the most unfortunate thing that happened this year for me.
Yeah, and this honestly, this is just music news. It's not metal, but I think this was talked about in all spheres, and
could have been a metal band on stage. This could have been like a Limp Bizkit show. Maybe it would. I mean,
well,
I wouldn't say like that. Fred Durst is Travis Scott, but you know.
No, but the thing is that a lot of discourse within the metal community, obviously this got talked about in different communities, and us being in the metal community, what I was seeing a lot of was people comparing what happened here with metal shows, which are inherently violent.
I mean, the first thing you think about when you see this is Woodstock 99.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in terms of like metal and stuff like that, I mean, we have there's a different there's a different way of functioning at metal shows,
Yeah.
and people are often
It's
often
an
think that
etiquette.
metal shows are super violent and hardcore shows.
There's a
Are,
decorum
yeah, exactly. So obviously,
that people in hip hop shows don't have. Basically,
pretty much.
like everyone knows that when you see someone falling in a mosh pit, you pick him up.
I think this scenario is different, definitely different, because ultimately I think
There was
there's
just
just
too much people.
There's just too many people,
Yeah.
and people just got squished, not even on the ground, like between people.
Yeah.
Like people just died of not having air. That's this is like on a whole other level, and I think the main discourse around this is obviously how the situation was handled and how this could have been possibly prevented. And if Travis Scott had anything to, could have done anything about it, I personally think so.
Of course, you could have
And
stopped the show many
We've,
times.
I mean, he's, from what I understand, he was told on stage about the situation. We saw video footage of like people coming up on stage to talk to him. He only addresses the fact in articles and in interviews and stuff, he only addresses the fact that he didn't hear people crying out between songs, which
Which is impossible.
I'm not. No. Well, I'm not. I'm not gonna fault someone for not hearing what's going on in a
10,000.
crowd in
Yeah.
such a big
Yeah.
crowd, unless like 50% of them are actually
Yeah.
are actually saying these words. So that I understand. But from the footage that I saw, the footage that immediately came out from this, we saw footage of like promoters or security or whatever, like
going to
going
Travis
on stage, going to him, and there's no doubt in my mind that
He
they
knew,
were
yeah.
telling him about the situation.
Maybe he was. I mean, I say maybe he was intoxicated, but he was probably intoxicated with like
And-
marijuana or something else.
But that doesn't excuse
No, it
anything,
doesn't
right?
excuse anything, but
He could have been completely fucking sober,
it could
and
be
it's
an
like,
explication to why he didn't he was.
yeah, but I mean that's not something that's come out, either. So it's just, it's unfortunate. Obviously, there were too many people at the show,
Of course.
so I don't think any one person is to blame here. Obviously,
It's a lot of factors that have been adding up. Yeah.
yeah, and there are codes to like limit how many people can be at a show and events and stuff like that, and those things are there for a reason. I think it sucks that they weren't respected.
Yep.
It sucks that the show wasn't stopped.
It sucks that it's young people too.
It sucks that it's young people. It sucks that ambulances were literally in the middle of the crowd and the show was still not stopped. All these things. 10 people died. I think quite a few more injured as well. It's just, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
I hate to see this stuff like this.
If there's a place where it shouldn't happen, where like tragedy shouldn't hit, it's music. It's music.
Yeah,
Shows,
and-
festivals.
Yeah,
Doesn't have fun.
and like we were saying, like, like in metal shows we have like there's like a code, there's like ethics, there's like a way to act. So yes, we have, technically speaking, more violent crowds than
Yeah.
stuff like this, but we never have 10 people dying at a show because people were violent towards one another. That's not really how it works. It's not like people will pick other people up and people will help each other, and when fights happen, people break them up.
Yeah,
it's not like
of course.
it's not Fight Club, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time. Obviously, there are exceptions to those rules, but so it was a weird thing to compare because obviously these are two completely different scenarios. I don't think much could have been done here aside from limits being respected. I don't know who decided to not respect the limits and then stopping the show. As ultimately, I think the only thing that
Yeah.
could have happened. The police response, I think, was like, "Oh, we didn't want like a riot to ensue."
I don't know. It seems
Take the risk, right?
yeah, to save
And
people's life.
and
And if
okay,
there's a riot.
if this is the sort of thing that can happen, like a riot,
Of course.
or too many people and people dying of asphyxiation, how is there not enough? How are there not procedures / enough personnel
Exactly.
to deal with, let's say, a riot.
When you put out a festival, you should have those things ready in case of a riot, because every festival could finish in a riot.
We just talked about Limp Bizkit canceling his show 20 minutes before.
Yeah, this could.
Do you
end up
not
in a
think
riot.
everyone there was fucking pissed?
Of course, it's Limp Bizkit fans.
Of course they were pissed. Were there 10 people dead?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? Obviously, you know, it's nuanced, and we weren't there. There's so many factors and stuff, but I think most people agree that clearly things could have been dealt differently, and this isn't something that should happen.
Yeah.
Dude, young people too, man. I think like 8-9-year-olds died in this thing, dude. Like, fuck. That's crazy. Imagine being like the parent of these people, and like your kid doesn't come back home from a fucking show.
It's horrible, man.
Eesh. We're gonna end this one with 2 tweets. Did you follow this?
No.
Okay. Every time I die, this is the article. Every time I die, vocalist Keith Buckley exit tour to focus on mental health.
Sammy's still watching. He loves Every Time I Die.
Okay.
Keith Buckley.
So he clearly saw this.
Yeah.
Every time I die, we'll perform the final 3 shows of their current tour without vocalist Keith Buckley, who is heading home early to focus on his mental health and prepare for the group's holiday shows. The band issued the following statement: "Mental health is a real issue, and when not treated, has an impact on so many people. Keith needs to take some time to rest and prepare for the holiday shows, and we wish him a quick recovery. We also understand that so many of you have been looking forward to these last few shows on our tour. We don't want to let anyone down, so we'll be playing these last 3 shows without a vocalist."
It's cool.
Like Keith always says, this mic is your mic, so come and help us finish up this tour. Anyone that no longer wants to get refunds.
All right. That seems all right.
The next day. No, the same day.
What?
Just hours after Every Time I Die issued a statement saying that frontman Keith Buckley has left the groups, blah, 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 blah. Keith Buckley himself has taken to Twitter to claim that his brother and Every Time I Die guitarist Jordan Buckley has deceived him and is and in fact has been involved in talks to find a replacement vocalist.
That sucks, man.
Buckley, who has been traveling separately from his 4 bandmates in interest of maintaining his sobriety, says that although he thought he'd been helping the band, he effectively ostracized himself from the group. His remarks are as follows: "Now that I have seen the official statement indicating that Every Time I Die is finishing the tour without their singer, I think I'm ready to tell you all a little bit about exactly why my mental health has had to become a priority over Every Time I Die, and trust I have receipts."
Oh my God, man.
While meditating in a side room yesterday, I overheard my own brother tell an outsider that Every Time I Die had been in talks to replace me the entire time. I thought they were my biggest supporters, but Jordan had lied. His concern was a cruel trick. Their statement is proof. Anyway, so... But essentially, he's saying... here he even says... being ostracized from a band I have built for 20 years because I made a decision to do whatever it took to be a good human being hurts me deeply. But trust me when I say I am the most mentally fit I have ever been. The decision was made to protect myself from my own siblings.
Jesus Christ.
So
man.
what the fuck? What the fuck is this statement?
I mean, I don't know. It's weird, Ben. It's dudes in a van or in a tour bus drinking and like, okay, man, what we gotta do is...
No, you keep saying people are drunk or too high.
Because I don't understand why you can't do this sober. It's crazy.
I think people are just fucking whack, man. There's more.
They're also whack.
I think they're just whack, man. But dude, this is just this is such a weird statement to make.
Of course.
Thinking it's not like he's dead and he's never gonna be able to tell the tale.
Yes.
He's well and alive. He says it has nothing to do really with his mental health, and that they want to kick him out of the band. So obviously they had a heated argument, and that ended in Keith saying he didn't want to play the rest of the shows, and them to put out a statement saying it's his mental health. He's gonna take some time off. And
Jesus Christ. They tweeted that thinking he would never
respond
ever.
Like, what the fuck?
That's ridiculous.
They made a post, I think, the day after or 2 days later saying, we're going to talk about this in private. Sorry about the sorry about the embarrassment on the timeline. And then they were playing that it was an
talk
Every
to
Time
each
I
other,
Die
boys.
festival. They were playing an Every Time I Die festival like the week after, and they played with them.
Yes, I mean it's dudes who have issues who doesn't speak to each other.
Take away their Twitter, dude.
Just talk to each other, dudes.
It's so fucking weird, man.
Talk. God damn. That's
It's
weird.
It's mind-boggling to me how these sort of things happen, man. It's just like, yeah, like you said, people just need to talk to each other.
Yep.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, man.
Went through just kind of like the news for whatever's happened this year in our spheres. We went through our top albums, some weirdo stats, and I don't know. 2021's been weirdly okay.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the pandemic and all that, I thought it'd be worse. Last
Yeah,
year,
it felt great. I mean, we had the whole year with the vaccination and stuff. Felt like a normal year, the most of the year. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
From early summer to fall. Felt normal.
we saw each other like 3 times.
Yep.
There's that.
Yep. trying to think that, but I got some texts from my girlfriend from the Conférence de Presse from tonight.
Oh, we've got
And
some.
it's bad news.
Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about
that.
this off stream after this. Okay. But yeah. This is kind of it. I don't really know how to end this. I guess if you're here, if you're still on YouTube, if you're here, thank you for watching. If you're watching this on the replay, same thing. If you're on Spotify, give us a review. You can leave reviews now. If you are not listening on Spotify right now, go to the search for Breakdowns for Breakfast on Spotify and give us a review anyways, and give us a review on whatever platform you're listening to. And I have a Discord server that'll be linked in the show notes in the description of the podcast, as well as the YouTube, if you want to go check out, where we talk about all this kind of news and new music releases and talk about our favorite albums of the year and stuff like that. You can check it out. I'm on there every single day. I don't reply to my text messages and Messenger, but I do reply to everything on the Discord. So if you wanna catch up with me, go on there. And yeah, kind of it.
That's all, man.
All right, thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you guys with more
Of course.
live streams on the channel and more podcast episodes in the new year.
Yes.
All right, peace out.